What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This podcast episode is brought to you by IBOW Training. As you know, we talk about training pretty frequently here on the show, and the IBOW has some amazing people that they work with in their network. Are you a designer, rapper, sign maker, or beyond? If you want to invest in your creativity for the future, IBOW Training is the right choice. IBOW is the nation's first training organization to offer training in all aspects of the rap industry, from quoting, design, printing, production, and installation. They offer a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design and print profile training through remote login. With trainers nationwide, IBOW offers support day and night by phone, and many of their trainers are within a day's reach for emergencies. IBOW is growing and will continue to support the industry in a positive manner. For more information, please visit ibowtraining.com. We are also brought to you by We Print Wraps. We Print Wraps is the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps. How easy is it to order wraps? Well, all you have to do is sell the job. Go to weprinwraps.com, choose your desired film for the installation, upload your design, and if you're not a designer, no problem. They can design one for you and get your wraps delivered right to your door. They offer free nationwide shipping all across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And for exclusive listeners of the All Wrapped Up podcast, you can get 5% promo code when you type in the word All Wrapped Up at checkout to save on your next order today. Less risk, no overhead, wholesale printing. See why the industry pros love them. To get more information, visit weprinwraps.com. Our next guest was born into the industry, playing with paint, plotters, now digital printers. He's decided to create his own path and opened up Kool Wraps. Please give it up for the great and powerful, Chris Sheldon. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up Podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading rap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. All right, Chris, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well. Doing really well.
How's your day been today?
Pretty good day today. Knocked out a couple of, little smaller, commercial rap here this morning, and, playing with, some new equipment here this afternoon, doing a lot of calibration, ICC color profiling, all that really fun stuff.
Ooh, new printer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what'd you get?
HP R1000.
R1000?
Yes, it is their latex flatbed printer.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, how are you liking that so far?
Well, I'm also running, like I said, I've been running normal, my roll-to-roll, the HP 360.
Yeah.
And I'm ready just to push that thing right in the garbage can.
Really?
Yeah, well, like I say, it's flatbed, it goes with typical UV flatbeds,
right.
Any solid, rigid substrates. But because it's their same latex-based ink, I can still print all my wraps on here.
Right.
And at a fraction of the time, and if not better quality than before.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, the only thing I haven't figured out how to make it do is make me a cup of
coffee. That's funny. And a couple other things too. We won't talk about.
Totally.
That's cool, man. So you like the flatbed over a standard wide format printer setup?
Well, I've been running this. We've had it maybe 3 weeks, a month, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
And, well, like I said, a max metal sign, you got to print it. Then you got to laminate it and trim it down, mount it to the board. I just throw the whole sheet of max metal under it, and I'm done in 8 minutes.
Yeah, saves you a few steps. Yeah, you're telling me. Is that a big part of your kind of market as far as like what you do? Is a little bit more signage and stuff like that?
Yeah, we get into a lot of that. I actually have two of our like I said, local sports teams, the Pensacola Ice Flyers hockey team and our local, Blue Wahoos baseball team, which is actually the, what do you call them? The Minnesota Twins, farm team.
Yeah.
So like I said, the baseball stadium requires banners, hard, rigid signage, wall wraps, wall murals, lettering, you name it. They've got a little bit of everything in that place.
Damn. That's amazing. Now this printer, right? So I'm intrigued by the flatbed, side of things because I'm trying to like talk to my boss, and we've had the conversation a few times as far as like getting a newer machine, and we're thinking, he threw out their flatbed. I'm like, oh, we're going to get into like some cool stuff now. And, I told him, you could still print the wraps on there, and he likes the latex just because of the ease of roll to roll, which we already do with the standard. We've got the what model is it? The 750? The HP 750 or I can't remember.
570.
570. I knew I had a 7 somewhere. It's the bigger one.
Right.
Which has been great, super finicky, very high maintenance, on those. And I'm wondering, is the flatbeds just as much high maintenance as the standard, HP?
No. The 360 we've been working with is almost zero maintenance.
Wow.
Typically what comes up on this flatbed is you do have some daily maintenance where it's, cleaning the wiper blade on the left. And the machine tells you, it'll say, I come in the morning, it goes, you have 3 maintenance tasks to perform. It's going to take you 12 minutes.
Okay.
You want to do them. So, this thing actually tracks and, keeps track of that maintenance time. So, oh, hey, I can run this job. Oh, I need to do that at the end of the day. It tells you how long you have to spend on that maintenance to take care of it.
Wow. That's amazing. And the quality and speed is a lot faster. Would you say it's a lot faster than the 570s? Oh,
well, I've never run on that one, but I can give you an awesome example. I printed some, clear, vinyl for a customer of mine, another sign shop of mine. They're a backlit, lighted sign company and do a lot of their prints. They just want to put them on a piece of, Lexan or whatever they're going to slide in a can.
Yeah.
And, I had about 30 yards of print to do.
Wow.
Sent them to the flatbed, ran it in about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half for 30 yards?
Yeah. I sent the same job to my roll to roll just to see how it would turn out. And that printing over there was just a little under 4 hours.
Come on. 3 hour difference almost.
Oh yeah. It was, and it's a bigger machine. It holds, much larger, it's about 3 liters, ink cartridges that it holds in there.
Yeah.
But just running that thing, with the savings you get kind of basically buying ink in bulk.
Right.
I'm saving $1,500 a month in ink costs.
Okay. So there's more to it as far as, less maintenance, more cost up front, but, you save it on the back end, so to say.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm never, having to apply any prints to any solid substrate. I can I put that solid substrate straight in there.
And be done.
With this machine also, one thing it's really made easy is, say I have multiple pieces to print. So you had 2, 18 by 24s and a 24 by 32 of aluminum to print. I can load all 3 of those different sizes in there and print 3 different images on them at the exact same time.
Wow. So you don't have to load, unload, start over, rip, just put everything in one shot. Wow.
Yeah. And if you have, a big run of something, you got 100 of them, it can set up a thing they call hot loading. So I put 3 in there. It starts, or 3 or 4 pieces. It starts printing as that print's finishing. It's going, hey, load 3 or 4 more up. Put 3 or 4 more in and just constantly feeding it media.
Wow. And how much room is this thing taking in your shop? Roughly. Too much?
This is the 1000. This is the smaller machine. They do have a 2000.
Jesus.
The 1000 is a 64-inch wide machine. The 2000 is I think 98.
Jesus Christ.
But I did opt for the optional, extra loading, unloading tables, just so I can lay a 4x8, completely flat on there. There's nothing hanging off the edge, causing any weird lifting. But its footprint on the floor roughly is about 16 by 20 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, you can take those tables off. They roll right up, fold up, store real small off in the corner if you need to. It's a lot. It ate up a lot of floor space, everything. Everybody's working against the wall right now until we kind of figure out a better flow, for some of the stuff in here.
Amazing. How long did it take to get that thing in the shop? Forklift?
We actually had to cut out a door, and make a opening in the wall a little bit over 6 feet wide.
Wow.
To get the machine in. But yeah, we actually bought a demo machine that Grimco, had at the, sign show in Vegas just here recently.
Oh, wow.
So if you saw that machine at their booth, that's what's sitting in my shop.
Nice. So you saved a little bit of dough getting the floor model. Yeah.
But in this one, of course, because it's their demo, it has all the bells and whistles. On there, any of the extras. But no, once they, got that thing delivered, it took about a day and a half till we were starting to, put some media in there and go over a little bit of the training on how to operate and work with the machine. Right.
Were you familiar a little bit with the flatbed prior, or was it kind of like foreign to you a little bit?
I've used a UV flatbed, many years ago. It was actually a company, what are they called? Color Span, or McDermott Color Span might have been the name. That was strictly UV. It was a flatbed. But this is a different animal with this latex.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you went to latex because of the ease of being able to run your regular prints on it, be able to laminate right away, all that stuff over UV. Do you see any like quality as far as the print itself being better or a little bit,
It is magazine quality.
Okay.
It is unreal. Now, like I say, some of the UV prints I've gotten from, some folks in the past, or what I've run myself years ago, there's a little grain to them.
Yeah.
The UV has, a little slight texture to it perhaps. And like I say, with this latex, it's every bit of the quality you can pump out of any of the HP latexes.
Wow.
At almost any print mode. What really blew me away, one of the things we had to try right off the bat, chloroplast, real estate, just, get it in, get it out.
Right.
And, I put a piece of chloroplast in here, printed a 32 by 48 image, at 3 passes, which sounds like it would be horrible print quality.
Yeah. Pixelated like crazy.
It looks every bit as good as running like, our 10 passes on wraps we would do on the 360. And
I could see you getting away with that, with the 3 pass, just cause of the corrugation on it, you're not gonna get the best out of it anyways. So you might as well save on the ink, right?
Yeah, that's what we call our, it's on the side of the road. It looks great from 50 feet and 50 miles an hour.
Yeah. You can't say that about wraps though.
Right. I'd say the thing, printing that sign took, from the time the head or the carriage started moving back and forth, took about 45 seconds.
Wow.
Or, time in this, and it's just the time saver, money saver, and it truly opens up a gigantic realm of what you can print on.
Right. The services can kind of flow out. Can you print on acrylic with that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Actually, I did that today, printed like I said, I'm still profiling some medias and, get them set up for us and our conditions here. Today, some basic profiling I did was on glass, tempered glass.
Wow.
I printed a small piece of raw, unfinished cypress wood.
Wow. On wood.
And, yeah.
Jesus.
And it looks like $1 million.
What's the prep on something like that? Like if you were going to do on glass, just isopropyl alcohol, wipe it down really clean?
Keep it clean. Obviously the smoother the surface, the less there is something that ink to grab hold.
Right.
And actually adhere to. The little piece I printed today was actually for, a buddy of mine here, Bricks Designs. They do a lot of CNC dimensional signage, gold leaf. What he had was a piece of, old school, like gold leaf chipped glass, sign. And I guess there's a process they run through with that where they have to put the size on, put the gold leaf on. They actually screen print the back with a black of where they just want to keep the gold. Then they wash that off and they're left with their, whatever gold leaf, silver leaves behind.
Right.
Which he's burning a screen for one print, silk screening.
Doesn't make sense.
So that's what I ran through here today. I laid his black down for him, taking out 5 steps of their process. Yeah. And now he's got his gold leaf sign with, almost zero work on their end other than laying the actual gold down.
Unreal. Now, what's the scratch resistance of it?
There is, like I said, I might just talk about this machine the whole time here. No, the machine actually has a overcoat, cartridges built into it. And you can control the amount of overcoat you need on something. Like say, for example, these Coroplast prints ran through 3 passes. You did it in the blink of an eye. I pull out my car keys trying to scratch this stuff off and actually put a hole in the Coroplast before I could scratch it off.
Wow. So it's in there.
It's on.
Holy
it is totally
cow.
On there. I have heard with some of the glass, there is it's not the same as, primer 94. Right. But there is sometimes just that super slick surface. There is a special primer, for glass. I guess you make paint or whatever adhere more. Haven't got any of that in my hands yet. Like I said, it's kind of new to me. But like I said, the little test things I've done, I could see where it might need to come into play on some. But, like everything I put through there so far, we took one of our doors off the wall and threw the door under there.
What?
And printed it.
Come on.
Oh yeah. I can go up to 2 inches thick.
Holy cow.
If it's 2 inches, you're printing on it.
No shit.
And color, you wouldn't believe. Super saturated reds, bright lime greens, which, that all depends on, you setting up your profiles and all that.
Right.
Which I do go the extra mile on our end, I think, and I do have my own spectrophotometer, and we do our own ICC color profiles, not just a media profile.
Yeah, so you get really deep into making sure your color's on point and all that jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If you need Pantone 238, I'm guaranteeing you 238's coming out of this machine.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, what are you using for your software? What are you using to rip it with?
Onyx.
Onyx, nice.
And actually we had to upgrade. I'm learning that new one as well. We had to upgrade, from Onyx Poster Shop to Onyx Thrive with this, flatbed.
Wow.
It's the same, but different. So there's a little bit of a learning curve in there as well. This machine also has white ink.
Nice. Which is maintenance, right? That's a lot of maintenance.
They figured out how to take the maintenance out of it too.
Really? Okay, let's talk about that. Wow.
It actually, if you're not printing white, a machine comes with 2 dummy print heads, that you put in there, and it's just not using them at all. There's no connections or anything to them. But when you're not using that white, the white print heads come out of the machine. They have this little tumbler built into the inside. You put those white print heads in there when you're not using them, and every 20 minutes, it rotates those print heads 181 degrees so that the ink is constantly moving in there. It's never separating or settling. And then once that white ink system's closed off, it circulates it in a, continuous loop, if you will. So there's no chance of that ink, the white ink, likes to separate it. So settle in. So that kind of a degree keeps it moving at all times.
Wow.
And like I said, I've run a bunch of it so far, profiling, getting things up and going. And I've yet to have any sort of issue with this thing.
Yeah. I would assume the white is a big factor just because you're going to have different color substrates and whatnot. You want to be able to print that white for those scenarios,
Yeah, like I said, some of the acrylics you were mentioning, I did some prints today where it was, I lays down the color, all that overcoat, the white, all in one. So it's not backing up and laying down in different times. It does this one shot through the machine. So I did print, I guess, second surface, you'd call it, on some acrylic. It laid down this lady's photo, put the white over it. It's unreal.
Solid. Yeah. And you can't forget the mirror, the image, because you're seeing it on the reverse. How many times has that happened to you?
Ironically, if you got this one set up, so in my profile, the name is reflected on there. So it will actually, I put that in there, you go to print, it's automatic. If you're doing that second surface, even if you don't tell it to, it's gonna flip it.
It's gonna
mirror it.
Nice.
Yeah. So even if you forget, the quick set I've set up will automatically do that.
It's dummy free. Anybody can run it.
To a degree, absolutely.
You gotta have that. You gotta have those things put in place because, God, nothing worse than getting halfway through. You're like, why can I read that? It's shit. There goes a whole piece of Lexan or something to that nature.
So that is the only downside I would say is if, I've printed out, some vinyl and it gets stuck on whatever board. And you're like, oh shit, I spelled that wrong.
Yeah.
Peel it off, I'll print another one. Now I'm like, go buy another board.
Right.
You're done.
Yep.
So
it's gotta be user error.
Yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the only fault I've seen come up unless I screw up somehow.
Shit.
This thing's really, really taking care of me.
Unreal. Well, since we're on the topic of machinery, what other pieces of equipment do you have at your shop?
Like I said, I'm still running the 360 to a degree. Just when this machine's busy, I need to do some, little decals or, something not too major. I keep that one going. We have our own laminators, Royal Sovereign laminators. I got a 64-inch Graphtec plotter.
Nice.
Just so everything kind of fits size wise. The biggest I can print, the biggest I can cut is the biggest I can laminate. And we go from there.
Nice.
Nothing, now that we have this shop, no routers or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cause you're basically doing more of the fleet stuff, the custom graphics, the custom wraps, simple setup, latex, ready to go, laminator, cutter, the basic essentials of what you need to have the wrap shop running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can foresee already with this, running this, R1000 here, real fast need for a flatbed plotter.
Really?
So, you print out a bunch, where I'm left now, somebody wanted a bunch of star shapes printed on Max Metal. I've got no choice but to hand cut that at the end.
Shit.
And, one or two, no big deal. If somebody wants 500, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
There's nowhere I can go from there.
Oh my God.
Once that kind of starts kicking in, I could definitely see dropping one of those into the building somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be huge because you get that knockout feature. You could just pick up the paper and the graphics sit there. They get sucked down. It's kind of the same thing with the flatbed.
media or whatnot gets sucked down. It's just a lot easier. Can you pretty much cut like a roll through that if you get a flatbed cutter?
Yeah. In my opinion, your top of the line, I think it's a Swiss company, Zund, Z-U-N-D. Their machines, it's a big, like a belt driven, like a flatbeds are, this flatbed is. You could put some media down, or it's a roll to roll option, to where, if you were printing several rolls of banner, hook it up, it starts cutting them out, and you just start peeling the banners out of the middle just like you were weeding vinyl. And it just keeps rolling it and cutting, rolling them and cutting.
Fucking technology, man. I mean, I'll probably never see that, but it's nice to know it's out there, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like I said, this flatbed this latex version is so new. From what I understand, there's like less than 100 of these in the U.S. right now.
Wow.
I think I'm number 3 in Florida to have one.
Oh, shit.
So like I said, it's so new, you search it, you can't find a lot on them yet.
So you guys, whoever the 100 is, basically guinea pigs right now. Basically running the shit out of them, figuring out the kinks, and then whatever they gotta do, whether it's software related or maintenance stuff.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of that software related, this is, I find, really cool. I don't know if you've ever had a printer issue with your printer, whatever it was before, you got to call tech support, you go back and forth. With this one, there's actually this little thing on the touch screens on the machine of a little smiley face. You touch that and it goes from a smiley face down to a frowny face. You pick what you're feeling about the machine. It leaves a little bar to type a little message, and it sends that straight to their tech department.
Huh.
So they get a message instantly as I'm using this machine of what my issues are, what the problems are. And it might not be something they're going to call me back on for any reason, but I know I'm in a queue and that will be addressed.
Wow. It'd be nice if they can remotely log on, troubleshoot whatever needs to be.
Right. Yeah. Cause I've had that, with just my workstation for doing, layouts and everything.
Right.
And this is basically, it's got 2 separate computers inside of it. One running the IPS, the print software, and the other is basically running the mechanics, the motorization and vacuums and everything else involved with it.
Wow.
So it seems like they can get, it's obviously hooked up internet compatible. So they should technically be able to log in there and do the same kind of thing, take over my screen and look at everything that's happening.
Yeah, that's always nice because, I'm computer illiterate. I'm a little computer illiterate as far as like the internals and all that jazz. Come to software, I'm good. Photoshop, Illustrator, in-depth stuff. I'm like all in. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, but start talking about CPUs and your whatever. I'm like, what, dude? No. Can you log in and fix that shit for me?
Yeah. I learned that the hard way when we first started getting into the digital market and had a old Mamaki JV3. I don't even remember what was all involved in the numbers on that. But print heads were $1,000.
Yeah.
You had to have a tech out to put them in.
Yep.
And luckily I had a local tech here who was like, you don't need me coming out here. Slid me a tech manual.
Come
on this book. And so from that point, you need to rip this whole machine down and take the whole thing apart. I got it.
Oh, I'd be scared. When I had to go in for my rolling and clean the e-coder strip. Oh my God. Should have seen me in there. I got my headlamp on. I got my little paper towel rolled up real nice, soak it in some alcohol, just running it back and forth in there. I'm like, baby, don't mess me up.
Yeah, that encoder strip, I've actually had to replace one of those on, the older, L25 500 HP latex. And at the time I was like, it might be easier to buy a new machine.
Right? You got so many parts taken apart. Oh my God.
Yeah. And we've got several people here that in time and time will need to run this equipment.
Right.
And that's usually my step number one is like, you see this piece back here? Don't ever touch this. Yeah. Don't look at it too long. Don't think about it when you're not here.
Oh shit.
That is one little mess up on that. You just turn this into a paperweight.
Right. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. When you know it's going is when it stops reading, it starts not measuring the film. You're like, oh my God, that's not an encoder strip, is it? Oh my God. And then the one thing to tell you is just, clean it with a little bit of alcohol. You might get a little bit of life out of it, but forget it.
Yeah, because I didn't realize it's not actually something that's printed on, where the machine reads some sort of printed marks on there. They're actually holes.
Right.
That encoder strip is. So you break one of those little windows, I think they call them, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah. A little crinkle in it or a little bend, forget about it. You're done.
Yep.
And
dead in the water.
Yeah, and God forbid if you had an older machine like I had where, after 6 years they start making parts and then you're on your own for third party parts and waiting for that to ship and forget about it.
That's what we ran into with that L25500. We got an announcement or a letter from HP, we're discontinuing this machine.
Right.
It's ink, it's parts, it's everything. So that's when we're like, all right, we need to sell this before anybody else realizes what's going on here.
Yeah. It's a good business to be in because after the 6 years you start making parts, they basically force you to buy a new one. You have no choice.
Well, the way some of this technology goes nowadays, next 2-3 years go by, they've made your printer obsolete anyway, almost.
If even that, I almost feel like every year it's something new and better and like you have to upgrade. It's like, what? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I wish they had a buyback program, like a good buyback program. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They, the only thing I've seen with this HP is they actually have this, rewards program, if you will. To where I think they've sent me a couple of surveys, fill this out, takes 5 minutes, if that, and you kind of accumulate points.
That's not bad.
What I get out of that right now, I don't know.
Maybe a few things of ink at some point.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I did see if I accumulate, I think it's 600 points within a year. Maybe it is 6 months, a year. They'll split the bill and fly you to their headquarters in Spain.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, bring on the surveys. I'll fill that shit out all night long.
Yeah, but you gotta buy into it.
Yeah.
That's the only kicker. You gotta buy into it. That's crazy. I wonder points per dollar. I wonder how many dollars that has to be.
Well, I could probably take several trips to Spain back and forth, staying in a 5-star resort for
the amount of money you spent.
The check we wrote.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then maintenance and keeping up with the inks and having extra cartridges or extra bags of ink laying around just in case.
One really cool thing we're talking about, breaking down the other machines yourself. I didn't even know they offered one of the, and this was really cool. The day it was set up, and they're kind of going over the basics with it, teaching the basic operations of the machine. Mm-hmm. They did that, and then another tech will come back. I think it was 2 weeks after, and just make sure you guys are good. Wow. I'm here again. Let's go back over this. Let's make sure there's no problems. You're not having any headaches. Nothing's causing you an issue. Like I said, I've never had that with any other printer. They, get it installed, set it up, and they're out. And this, they come back. They check on you. They make sure everything's up to snuff.
Yeah, you spent a little bit more money. It's the least they could do.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's give this guy a little love. Hey, John, go see Chris over there one more time just to make sure he's good. We got to make him happy, you know? He's flipped a good bill. We got to make sure he's good. Damn. Oh, it's crazy because it's, even when it comes down to like, reps, for different companies and stuff like that, I feel like they don't I think, I don't know. I don't know if it's from company to company, whether it be Fellers or Grimco. I don't know how many times they come to your office, a month or every couple months, shit like that. I feel like they don't come enough. You know what I mean?
Well, I can say, lucky me, our Grimco, whose I probably get 95% of any media's materials, everything from.
Mm-hmm.
There's a local branch, maybe an hour away from me here in Mobile, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks over there, who is it? We got Lamar Miller, Clay Johnson, Carol Love. Those folks have been over backwards for me at times.
Wow.
To where, I've run out of ink, or I had a faulty ink cartridge in the middle of the day.
Oh,
that was my backup. I put in there, got it aired out, coded out for whatever reason.
The chip's gone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have dropped what they're doing, jumped in their own car, and driven me that ink.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm a customer for life. That little tiny thing, 30 minutes out of their day is all it took.
Right.
And the little things do make a huge difference in a lot of these considerations, like that, who we decide to buy from or suppliers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a mixed bag. It's people, like Fellers, people like Grimco, people like their local suppliers. You know what I mean? The small mom and pop shops that are local and around. And, I see that Grimco is really expanding and buying out those smaller corporations, those small mom and pop shops that supplied vinyl and media and whatnot to us, and trying to grow and expand as well. I see that a lot. I think they've bought out like two separate companies here in Boston alone. Two huge companies they bought out. And, buying out your competition's nice.
Yeah.
And, to propel your growth. But yeah, I bought very few items from Grimco. I think their pricing is pretty comparable to Fellers, and they're pretty aggressive with price matching. It's just Fellers is literally a walk from our office to the front door. And we get a lot of stuff like carried over because we buy pallets of film at a time.
Right.
So we're a little bit, spoiled, getting the big freight truck dropped off with a pallet of film. They're like, hey, here to drop off. All right, cool. But it's nice that, you kind of have a little bit of everything, because they also do substrates, which is right down your alley. Fellers doesn't really mess with that nonsense.
And that's where I would say my only Fellers downfall is I have with Grimco, I've got one-stop shop.
Right.
And it's so easy. One order, one click online, I've got everything I need. And now, not to get me wrong, there's been several times when Grimco, the shipping, something was out of stock, and I got to go to Fellers.
Right.
And they've always been good about everything.
Right.
No issues there. But like I said, if I can just go to one stop instead of calling 3 people to get one job completed, it's easy.
Right.
Basically, it's just easier.
Right. What type of media are you buying for your rap films and stuff? Which brand are you using mostly?
3M, 100%.
Nice.
Like I said, we are a 3M certified company.
Mm-hmm.
So I do, always try to use whatever appropriate 3M film there is. Now we don't do a ton of color changes by any means, but it also doesn't hurt my feelings if a customer wants a color that's Oracal or it's Avery. I mean, they want the color they want. So,
right.
It is what it is.
Right. You'll accommodate all that stuff, whatever they want. We'll use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But with being a certified company, I always will try to lean them towards that. Not that I'm not going to stand behind any work that we do.
Right.
But with this 3M product, I can guarantee you
Right.
This is gonna work. You're not gonna come back and go, hey, this is peeling up or this thing's lifting here. It's, I know their products. I know the techniques and how they want it installed. And that's, we follow that rule book, and I usually never have to look back once we've done an installation.
Right. Right. Yeah. I always feel like, whenever there's an issue, it's always going to be a B2B issue. Or a consumer to business, consumer being the person getting the wrap, business would be us. And then we have to do our due diligence and follow up with the product, get the core number, follow up with all that stuff in order to get a return back, which, 99.9% of the time, they're just sending us a new roll of film. Now, we have to cover all the maintenance on it, all the deinstallation of it, and then the reinstallation of the film, and we got to cover all that, which is always a bummer, especially if you're outsourcing a lot of the installs and shit like that. It becomes tough and costly,
Yeah, and that's, this was an issue. Now I'm like, where am I going to find time to do this correction?
Right.
Or where I've already, my next 3 weeks are filled. Where am I going to find an hour to redo or whatever the time may be for this guy?
Right.
That's what I said. I might not be the cheapest guy in town, but, I'm not coming back for your job. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
It's on there. It's done. You're golden for the life of, your wrap, your wall mural, whatever it might be. You're not going to see me again until you're ready to take that thing off.
Right. Yeah. Customer service is always a big thing. I think that's one thing we don't really touch too much on during the, a lot of the convos, and, going back to finding the time to fix an issue or trying to make things right if somebody's not feeling good about something or there's an issue. I feel like a lot of us may be like, okay, tomorrow, or come and see me next Monday. And sometimes it puts a bad taste in people's mouth. They just want the shit fixed half the time. You know what I mean? They just, some of them are so like, oh, dude, Monday, I can't come Monday. I'm booked. Like, you can't do it right now or today or later, or I'll come back. And, it's a tough gig. We're in the service base. You know what I mean? Customer service.
Yeah. We run into that all the time. And it's, that's what I'm saying. This is never a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
It's till it's done job, or however long you have to stay to finish it job.
Yeah.
That turns some, we have people come in, obviously apply for positions all the time, and, we'll put it out there. I'm like, I'm going to ask you to stay late from time to time. I'm going to ask you to come in early.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what this is. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't have control of all that. And, I think everybody knows who their customers are, that if you don't give them that service, they won't hesitate to pick up the phone and call somebody else.
Right. 100%. It's either you or somebody else.
Yeah, as loyal as I am to them, they need what they need regardless of me. I'm not stopping. They're not stopping opening day at the baseball park because I don't have all their outfield finished.
Right.
That's happening regardless.
You'll be out there putting the sign up while the game's going. You know what I mean?
My first year, we've been doing that park for 5 years. My first year, somebody else actually had done the park, almost everything in it. The outfield pads on the wall, all the graphics were coming off, peeling off. The guy had put, just intermediate printed vinyl on these pads, and, it wasn't up a couple months. It was falling off. And so it fortunately got put into our hands, and, it was get there at 5 a.m., get it done, stay, come back at 5 p.m. and do a little bit more, and just whatever had to do to get to have it done and have it done the right way.
Right.
And now I know they don't.
What were the pads? Were they just like a vinyl or like a banner material?
It was, it's like the pads themselves are wrapped in, like a banner type material. And originally, whatever material vinyl they had put on there just wasn't adhering. And found out real quick. Like I said, I give a call to 3M going, here's what I've got. What do you suggest? We went with a certain media. It lasted pretty well, but I'm in Florida also. So these things sit in the sun all day long, just roasting and baking out there. And it eventually caused a bit of an issue. So what we determined is the best thing is we just literally print oversized banner and take the pads off the wall. There's like a plywood backer, wrap the pads, staple it around the back, like a seat cushion.
Right.
And we're done. We don't have to worry about anything.
Wow.
And they look like $1 million.
Not bad.
Yeah. Not considering how many is there? 26 foot by 24 foot prints on that outfield wall.
Holy shit.
I said, that's just that outfield wall.
And you're replacing these every year?
Well, it depends on, I guess, their sponsor contracts. They're up there 2 years max.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Nah.
And if something happens, it's an easy fix. It's not.
Yeah, we've had a guy, tries to jump the wall or get up there to catch a home run before it goes out, and a spike tears a hole in it. You print one more, go put it up, you're done. They're happy, everybody's happy, nobody's upset about anything. It's just part of it.
That's hilarious. What other like crazy scenarios have you been in as far as like installs?
Probably the all-time craziest was many, many years ago and this was me being young and dumb. We were putting some like foam raised letters on the outside of a hotel or high-rise little condo out on the beach here. It was 10 floors up when the little window washer unit out there, and had a scratch in one of these graphics or the letters on there. Simple fix. I can paint. We can put just painted letters. We can touch that up. No biggie. But the window washer wouldn't quite let us get to the top of some of these things. So being the dumbass I was at the time, not thinking about the future, took off my harness, climbed up on the railing of this window washer 10 stories in the air, actually had to take a paintbrush and tape it to the end of a paint paddle and get on my tiptoes and do a little touch up.
Wow.
That might have been the most dangerous, ridiculous thing I've ever run into.
Jesus Christ. Taking your harness off. Where's OSHA?
Oh, yeah. You look to the left, look to the right. You don't see anybody. You go for it.
Yeah. Quick, duct tape that fucking paintbrush to that stick.
Yeah, that's what they say. Even standing on the railing, I couldn't reach. I'm like, I need another foot.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do? And, it got it done.
Jesus Christ.
Definitely not the smartest thing, but it was done.
It was done. You come down, are you scared of heights a little bit? No, probably not, right?
No, they don't bother me.
I would have been fucking shaking like a leaf when I got down there. Like, legs would be trembling and be like, damn, never again. I hated heights. I don't like ladders, high ladders. I just don't. I don't know.
I've never had that bother me too terribly much. I've been up in the air on some equipment, and I'm like, I'm more worried about this equipment breaking down than I am falling off. But never bothered me really.
What's the highest you've ever been?
That's probably at about 10 floors.
10 floors?
10 floors up. So that's, 100 something feet.
Jesus Christ. No way. I'd be just looking straight the whole time. Wouldn't even look down.
Even if I fall, I'm not going to feel it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it.
As soon as I stop, it's all over. I'm good.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I couldn't even, you ever have those dreams? It's funny. I saw this thing online. It's, you've had these dreams where you're in a deep, deep sleep and you're falling off a building or out of the sky, and then you hit the floor and you just jump out of bed.
Oh, yeah, many a time.
Oh my
God.
It
freaks me out anytime it's happened. It's such a weird feeling.
I don't even know how that happens. How is it the timing of when you physically, consciously, take in that you're free falling and then you hit the ground or hit the water, whatever the case may be, and your body just levitates. You feel like you're, off your couch, off your bed, 10, 15 feet, and it's like literally almost nothing at the end of the day, but enough to get you off the bed and on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with that dream, you can feel every bit of falling.
Yes.
You feel all of it. But then that last second, something that subconscious, that brain just goes, nah, not today. You're still good.
You live to see another day, you bastard.
Yeah. Maybe it was something we did that day that goes, you need to be a little more appreciative of something in the morning.
Exactly.
Because you just dodged the bullet, my friend.
in your dream. That's so funny. Oh my God.
Think back. Did I piss anybody off this morning?
Yeah, I thought I went to bed sleeping fine. I slept like a baby. My God. Who did I not call back? Oh shit. Unreal. I don't even know how we got on that subject, but that's like, it's real stuff. Real stuff. I've gone to bed, dreaming, if you're in the zone rapping, God, I almost can't turn it off. If you're literally in the bay and you're rapping all day, it's a large project. I go to bed and I'm still thinking about rapping and I don't know why. You want to come home and just like decompress, but you just cannot, you can't get it out of you for some reason. You ever have those times where you can't, like,
I cannot turn that shit off.
Right?
I go on vacation with my wife and my son here to there, and I'm like, hold on, I want to pull up by this car.
Take a picture.
Raft, let's see that. What is it? Oh, what's on this wall? We're at the kids museum. The kids doing some crazy thing over here, and I'm like rubbing on the wall mural and touching the signs hanging off the side, staring at some car's bumper as I'm sitting in traffic going, okay, yeah, you could do that in one piece.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away, I guess. I could see how you could get around without seeming it.
Oh, it drives me, it's almost bothersome that I can't shut it off. You know what I mean? Like, you're always looking for something. You're like, can I do that? Oh, wait, would they rap that? How do they do that? You're sitting in traffic trying to dissect the fucking rap on the highway. Yeah. It's like, dude, Jeff, we gotta focus right now,
Fortunately, more times than not, I catch myself staring at some things on the road and my wife, it just irritates her. I look at the street sign, Jefferson Street. I'm like, those letters aren't kerned properly. Yeah. The spacing between the F and the E is way off.
It's a little crooked. It's got to be a little crooked. The post is not straight.
That's my wife goes, shut the hell up.
It's a fucking it's a curse. For any sign maker or rap, it's literally a curse because you're constantly dissecting things all the time.
I had a girl that was working for us here not that long ago, Annie Martin. She actually just moved to Texas. She came from, and this is a great tip, I guess, for anybody out there needing employees, a helping hand. We'll go to the local colleges and have these kids intern. Mm-hmm. They need intern credits for stuff. So, to put it bluntly, free employee.
Right. Why not?
And she was always, had her mind, more high end design. And I kind of told her, I'm like, you stay here for 6 months, you're never getting out of this industry. You're gonna, it's gonna, not in a bad way. I don't mean that in any kind of negative way.
But it grows on you.
Yeah. And like I said, she took off to Texas a little while ago. The firm or what the place she was looking at, it just didn't quite work out. And guess where she's at? Another graphic shop in Texas.
You can always go back to graphics.
Yeah.
Wrap shops.
That's one thing that's, like I said, been doing this so long. I moved out to the West Coast for a while and I never worried about a job because I'm like, you can't find somebody that knows how to do it. You could walk in, if you know what you're doing, you have some skills, you could put yourself in any kind of graphic shop almost, and they'll want you.
Right.
Because you can just start.
Good help is hard to find. You know what I mean? Especially with someone who kind of knows the industry. I mean, what other industry that you could be in that it is almost bulletproof to like not be able to find a job. Like you're always going to have work. Like whatever state, whatever city you're in, there's a sign shop, there's a wrap shop. You can always walk in and almost guaranteed get a fucking job.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's a trade. It's a skill.
Right.
But if you've got a hold of a little bit of that, you know, you might not be at the most gigantic wrap company in the world or doing that, but somewhere you fit in with somebody. Somebody wants you in their business.
Yeah. And you're making a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always, you know, even if it's side hustle, you know what I mean? You can always do the mobile thing, do a couple side gigs, especially with, wholesale printing companies out there. If you can design, if you can design and install, oh God, you're a force to reckon with because you've got two of the main pieces of the pie in this industry.
Yeah. And we do a lot of, not we print wraps by any stretch of the imagination, but it almost drives me nuts to a degree sometimes going around and you're like this big, huge wall mural that's up and all these people going, oh, so-and-so did such a great job. They did this, they did that. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't know they called me and I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm like, just give me a little kudos for, the design or, how good the print looks, colors and all that. But, I can't say anything about it. I just have to sit back and go, man, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's giving credit where it's due. I think a lot, I just had this conversation recently with someone and, it's kind of a shame that people don't give the credit out and take it all in for themselves. And, I just feel like, you know what, if you had help, shout them out. You know what I mean? We're all networking. We're all connected to one another. Just because it came to your shop, it doesn't mean everything is yours. If you had to sub a couple people out to help you, give the credit where it's due. You know what I mean? Your printer's down and you got to go next door to get a print. Hey man, appreciate it. Thanks so much for printing that for me. You made a couple bucks. You helped me out of a jam. And, it's a win-win. You're still making out. It's just, don't take it all. Don't take all the credit. You know what I mean? There's no need for it.
We do a lot of that. Like I said, my buddies at Bricks Designs that do the CNC work and the routed signs, they come to me for all their printed graphics.
Yeah.
I don't ever contact their customers. I don't, it's just for them. Here it is.
Yeah.
And, sometimes they have some prints and they're like, what do I owe you? I'm like, take them because next week I'm going to call you and ask you to route this out for me. So we just keep that circle going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bartering's huge in this industry. I'll do this for you. You do this for me, or we'll just keep tabs of pricing. And when I need a favor, we'll squash the invoice and you can do a lot. You can do a lot with this stuff.
Oh, so, totally. Like I said, as a little, growing up in the industry as a little kid, I don't think I had any toy or bicycle or anything that didn't have my name on it somehow or some flames put on there of some sort of degree. Anything I had, there was vinyl stuck on it in some form or fashion.
Jesus. Well, speaking of that, of being born into the industry, how did you get into this industry and what's the backstory?
Well, like I said, this all, I guess, kind of started with the sign industry. On my mom's side of the family, I guess my great grandfather was a sign painter.
Wow.
From that, my grandfather worked with him. They used to actually paint the backdrops of movie theaters.
Wow.
Big, huge mural. This is, 52. I don't know what they did back then. But yeah, painting these backdrops of these movie theaters. and he kind of parlayed that was in, where's that? Paducah, Kentucky.
Wow.
And they kind of, as they made it here to Florida, I guess he kind of parlayed that into the sign business, where he was still, hand painting a car door, hand painting, plywood boards for signs. Once I think my uncle started to kind of take over, late 70s, early 80s, they got a Gerber 4B plotter, which is, I think I've heard somebody on the show talk about this before. It was basically a 15-inch plotter with a keyboard attached to it.
Right.
It had like a screen no bigger than a calculator, and you kind of typed a line of computer code to get this thing to cut, 6 letters every 10 minutes. That's when I think my grandfather kind of said, well, you don't need me anymore.
Right.
And, we kind of moved out from there. And, I don't know. Like I said, since that point, we started, that was a big screen printing company. We did vinyl, cut vinyl work, but lots of screen printing, making our own films, burning everything and making 100% of what's going on. And I guess to make a long story short, I was always never super excited about ever going to school. It wasn't my thing. In high school, I had basically quit going at some point. My mom, unfortunately, cause she took over the sign shop there at the end, ran it for 25 years or more.
Wow.
And somewhere along the lines, I used to always get home before her and erase the answering machine, the school calling that I wasn't in school that day. Had to be home before she got home so I could erase that message. The day she found out, she told me, she goes, well, I leave for work at 6 a.m. I suggest you get ready. And that was it.
Wow.
And I was a full-time employee from that point forward. Not that they weren't pushing me around or crawling around on the floor as a little kid while they were painting or screen printing signs. I was still there, but now I actually had some responsibility in the matter.
That's so funny. It's almost like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but you weren't taking the day off. You wanted to go to work.
Yeah. I had the system to fool the school's absentee system there for a while, and I slipped up one day. Now look at me. I'm wrapping cars now.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure you're a lot happier than half those teachers. You know how many times, how many stories I used to hear, even teachers that I knew, back then, when I wouldn't be doing good, they'd always give you that talk, like, come on, man, you're not going to amount to nothing unless you really put in the work and, this, that, just not so much the, I don't know how to really say it in a polite way. Just the motivation back then just wasn't what you kind of see now. It's just, they kind of give you a lot of tough love,
Yeah.
They take you aside. I knew a couple of teachers, they'd fucking swear. They'd be like, Jeff, fucking get your shit together, dude. You're not going to make it out there if you don't get your shit together. You're not going to amount to nothing. You got to go to college. You got to do this. Well, fucking A, I went to college. I spent $32,000 and I'm not really doing what I went to college for. Appreciate it.
Yeah. 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 I had those teachers, if the teachers come to me like that, I would always in one ear, out the other.
Yep.
It just never sank in. Yep. But I had one or two who I guess they made me see, or I could feel, I'm like, oh, this guy's disappointed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the one that got me. I'm like, I can't let this guy down.
Right.
Got to get this paper done.
Right.
And I don't know what it was that they did differently, but it's not that I wanted to, achieve whatever degree or something I wasn't shooting for in economics. But I'm like, I can't let this guy down.
I think to answer that question for me, when I would see something like that, would be that they were real. They weren't there just to, a lot of teachers are there and they're to the book. It's very cookie cutter. There's no very monotoned, just let's get through the class and be done. You know what I mean? But when you got that teacher that was just, really talking to you and getting to the core of things and not sugarcoating shit and just being real, like a normal person. I think those were the teachers that really hit home for me. Honestly, the 12 years of schooling, from kindergarten, which, you don't remember a lot, but let's just say from 5th grade to 12th grade, less than a handful of teachers, those 7 years I had that really, after the fact of graduating, that I would see outside years later would actually come up to me and ask how I'm doing and, have a nice conversation with me. Cause now you're an adult at that point and there's no, you're not in a classroom setting, but they acted the same way that they acted in class. It almost brings everything kind of home and kind of really strikes a chord with you. And I know I bring this up a lot, but like the salesman, the pitch, sales pitchy people, those are the type of people I'd fucking walk away. I'm done. The first sentence you say, I either know that you're just gonna bend me over a barrel or you're just gonna be nice to me like a normal human being and give me my space. And I feel like some teachers are just like robotic, blah, 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 but the genuine ones, those are the ones you don't want to let down and you want to, make sure you come through with whatever their needs may be, whether it be the paper or a project or whatever. And, they'll give you the pat in the back and be like, dude, thanks for fucking getting that shit done. You know what I mean? It's going to be good for you later on.
Yeah. And sometimes just like I said, that little pat on the back means more than anything sometimes, a confidence booster.
That's all you need.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
And you remember that, like I said, some of those teachers, I remember the day they pulled me aside. And I'm like, I thought about that last week. I thought about that guy, and because I've had some scenario here where it's like, oh, okay, just dig down, do what you got to do. You can do this,
right?
And get through it,
right? It's crazy how, you always say, I want to get the fuck out of school. Screw this. I just want to be done. And now as I'm older, I'm like, fucking, I want to go back. You know what I mean? I would do things so much differently because they always tell you like, don't grow up. It's a fucking trap. Don't do it. Once you become an adult, forget about it. You're going to be fucking miserable. I'm telling you. And, you sit back and you look, you're like, wow, what I wouldn't do to be 16 again or 18 again.
Yeah, I tell my son that constantly.
Yeah.
With some of the getting started struggles and things we went through, and I'm like, I'm not making you do your homework to be a bad guy.
Right.
I'm telling you, you put in that hard work now, you're going to be the guy taking that 3-week vacation. Everybody's good. All right, I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm trying to make your life easier down the road. You just don't see it yet. He actually never wanted to grow up. You got a little kid, you're like, oh, you're a big boy, you're a big girl now. And he's like, no, I'm medium.
I'm medium.
He's like, I'm never gonna be a big boy. I'm a medium boy.
That's awesome. When did you realize that, it was a trap? What age you think you realized like, fuck, this shit's real?
Oh my God. It took it, I would say I was probably way too old.
Way too old?
I did. Yeah. I might have been in my early 20s.
Early 20s? Damn. I figured that shit out at 30.
Well, I moved, I got the bright idea within a week's time. On Monday, me and my buddy decided we're moving to California. Wow. And by Friday, we were packing the car and leaving.
Jesus, like no lead time. Just get your shit and go.
Yeah, we're going. Let's do it. And, being out there for a little bit, realize you go, oh, I need to call so-and-so for, I'm like, oh no, there's no so-and-so here. Oh, I need to go. Yeah, I can't call them. Can't do that. I don't know where this is. Okay. What do we do now?
No thought process.
Yeah, it got real fast.
How long were you there for?
Let's see, I spent about a year in San Diego.
Wow.
And then slowly moved my way up the coast to San Francisco. I was probably out in the West Coast for about 6 years altogether.
Wow.
But I spent most of that, up north, San Francisco area.
What were you doing for work? Still putting around sign shops?
You name it. Yeah, exactly. Find the first sign, look up the phone book, go visit all these sign shops and see who's going to hire me.
Damn.
And that's the way it works. That's what I did. And so that's probably how I've gotten into, I don't know if there's a lot, not saying I've done all of it well, but, there's not a bunch of things in this industry. So even going back to old school, it said hand painting, hand carving, short of bending up my own neon, I think I probably touched everything and done some part of it at one point or another.
Wow.
Screwed it up more likely, but I did it.
What do they, how's that saying go? God, something master of none or some shit. I always mess up these little sayings. I try to act smart, but I'm totally not even smart.
I know exactly what you mean, but I could not put the words together.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and it's just, that stay in school, kids. This is the reason why, this is the reason why I can't even complete a thought here.
Oh yeah. I definitely, if anything, I should have paid more attention in handwriting class, because I think, when my son was learning to write, kindergarten, first grade, my wife couldn't tell his notes apart from mine.
Can you believe that they're taking the handwriting part of school out? Like, my kids don't even handwrite. Like, they don't.
Oh,
gone.
Yeah, no.
It's all typing and regular, lettering.
Yeah. My son now is actually in what they have here, a Florida virtual school. He was doing horrible when he started middle school. And I get it. He told us, it's the teachers have no control of the class. Kids are just doing whatever. He's like, I don't understand what they're saying. I can't hear it. He just wasn't getting it.
Right.
So we tried this virtual school, and he sits at home. It's all on the computer. To be quite honest, if he got up in the morning and just started pounding away at it, 2 hours, 3 hours, he's done for the day.
Really?
In school. That's all it takes.
They cram the 6 hours into 2 or 3?
Well, they would give him, hey, you have to do this chapter in this class, do this test in this class, and write a paper on this. And if it's turned in by 5 o'clock, you're good.
No shit.
So
it's almost like online college. Almost. Same idea.
Same concept.
Wow.
And like I said, since then, putting him in his own, I guess, workspace, or just the time that is comfortable for him to work, his grades have shot through the roof. And it's just this is the method that works for him, and that's what we go with.
Yeah, I think they need more of that, to be quite honest with you, because starting school at 7:30 in the morning, kids are still fucking waking up. How can you learn something at 8 o'clock, your first class? And, you gotta get up an hour early. You gotta eat breakfast. You gotta do this. It's too much stress on them. They gotta start school a little bit later in the day. And that's not me saying it because, I would like to do that. I just feel like when I was in school, I'm not waking up till third period. I'm good.
Oh.
100%,
yeah.
And especially, and you don't have control of classes, who the fuck's doing algebra at 8 o'clock in the morning? Not me.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
That's one I always said, I'm never going to need this long division geometry bullshit in my life when I grow up. And now, all day long, what am I doing?
Fucking
Square
numbers.
footage.
Square
How
footage.
big is that sign? I'm doing math all day long. That's what I do. I'm like, damn it, I stuck my foot in my mouth on that one.
Right, we all did. You're not the only one, believe me. It's fucking, I find myself sometimes, I won't even pull up my phone just to see if I can still do it. You know what I mean? I'll write it down, divide something, I'm like, oh shit, I'm halfway through, I'm like, starting to get a headache, pull the calculator out of my phone and get to it,
Yeah, I notice I catch myself calculating things, looking at, we're going to paint a room in the house. I'm like, how many square feet of paint do I need to coverage? And I'm like, wait a minute. That's about 3 4x8s right there. So I'm at 96 square feet. Okay. Now this side.
You start putting things in there that you just, sizing. You're like, wait, a 4x8 sheet could fit there. And I could fit about 6 of them in this area. So that's about 120 square feet.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad. And you go, well, that's not 48. That's more like 47 and a half. It looks like.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God.
Dude, I've caught my boss. He is fucking amazing with like his eyeballs. I don't even know. He must be like the Mechanical Man or whatever show that was. And, he'll be like, yeah, that's about 23 3/4. I'll fucking measure. It's like 24 or 23. I'm like, dude, what? Like, how did you pull that out? Dude, it's just looking at shit all day long. Cause he used to be a builder, carpenter. So like, he'll look at like walls and he'll be like, yeah, that's not 8 feet. That's a little under or whatnot. And he just knows. It's like mind boggling. He gets me every time.
One of my, did I lose you?
I got one of your, and then you went out. What were you?
All right, so I was saying, that's one lesson I gotta teach kind of a lot of folks here that now that we've not a family or not my original family business, we're still pretty much tight family here. With my business partner in this, Brian Williams, when we were first opening the company, there were some, backlit signs, stacked up out front 2 or 3 high. He's like, those are all 4x8s. And I'm like, that's up in the air, dude. It's the size is messing with you being up in the air.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
It does.
He's like, oh, they're 4x8s. They're 4x8s. He's like, okay, I'm taking your word for it. We made some prints. They pull the faces down. They're 5 foot.
Oh.
No, I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm like, you put something a little bit in the air and it gets real small, real fast.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Had to work that one in there somehow.
I had to throw that out there. I've heard it enough today in the shop. I knew it was gonna come out. I've been holding out. That is so funny. Waiting for it. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Even if it's only, 6, 7 feet up, your eyes play tricks and always gotta pull a tape measure out. Always.
Yeah. So we did a sign on the front of the stadium here, for the Wahoos. And this is one where we didn't pull any kind of permits because they said, we'll go with the city.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, it's your dollar.
Right.
And the city, of course, the last day, this was, what was it? 10 feet by 80 feet, maybe.
Jesus.
Just a bunch of 5x10s of max metal, basically. Side by side across the front of this building, make a big name with their logo and whatnot.
Yeah.
And of course the city ordinance people they're all pissed off towards the end and everything's going haywire. And they're like, well, how big is that? I'm like, well, how big do you think it is?
It's
and
big.
like, well, if you're not above so and so, on the size wise, you don't need this permit or that permit. And I'm like, well, as long as y'all think it's that big, that's what we're going with.
That's it.
Cause it's not that, it's much bigger than you're thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I hated that. Pulling permits. No thanks. That was something that I was not into. Sitting at a table just in front of people that just had no idea how to design a sign and
don't even know what to classify it as.
Right.
Fortunately, we get away from a bunch of that because, some of the wall murals or things, even if it's on the outside of the building we put up, they require stuff for that.
Really?
But, yeah. We've got a loophole though, because technically it's temporary.
Cause it's not affixed to anything.
There's not a screw in it. There's not a bolt in it. You're using the Envision or the 3M 8624, a stucco wall. And the code enforcement comes by and I'm like, you just keep on trucking, dude. This is temporary. take all those rules you're about to throw at me and throw them right in the trash can.
Now does that include, what's the verbiage in that? Would they consider that a tangible item? Cause a sign can be tangible cause you can remove it, but is something more where it's affixed by, a bolt or a screw or something to that nature? Is that the loophole where it's not?
I think it's the structural aspect.
Okay.
Like you're saying, if I had to bolt that to the wall, they want to know what kind of bolt is that, load bearing,
yes,
blah, 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 blah,
that
blah,
shit
blah.
used to drive me nuts.
But I'm like, hey, I am not adding anything to this surface.
Mm-hmm.
There's no screw that's holding it. There's no bracket.
Right.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yep.
And that skirts past a lot of their, we have here on Pensacola Beach, the Santa Rosa Island Authority, they're called.
Wow.
And their rule book for putting signs on this beach is about the size of a phone book, if anybody remembers what those look like.
Yeah, right.
And one of the very first things kind of in there, and it's been forever since I've looked at it, but I think they say, all of these signs out here on the beach need to be 70% gray.
Oh,
they don't want nothing tacky or ugly, out there. You drive out there, I'd be surprised if you saw any gray at all.
Nobody gives a shit.
There's a way around it in some form or fashion.
Wow.
I want to say I've known people that had an issue getting a sign permit, a 4x4 sign, talk about where we're building a new condo here. Issues with permits and something along the lines of if they put a finial cap on top of the posts, a little decorative cap on top of, like, say, the two 4x4 legs.
Yeah, just to hide it.
They can call it a privacy fence.
Get out of here.
And get a $25 permit type thing. Just go, as long as you put that cap on there, it's something else.
Over $25. Anything to get more out of the city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. What are you going to do? Leave it unfinished with a nice sleeve over your 4x4 post with no caps? What the fuck?
Yeah. They don't even care about the sleeve as long as there's that decorative little
cap,
pyramid shaped top on there. It's now you can pull something for a privacy fence.
And would they get
no questions asked?
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
you got a permit? Okay, you're
shit.
good.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level.
Knowing those loopholes is, really good.
Yeah. And you learn those by, trial by fire. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you make, some good ends at City Hall and create a good relationship with those folks in there because they're the ones that are either going to make it easy for you or hard,
Yeah. I know. Sometimes it can be super difficult with certain things dealing with them. But then I just had a project. They put this new pay parking whole weird app system downtown. And I guess it was a little confusing to people. So they got us to go around. We put sidewalk graphics down, kind of explaining where to go, where to pay, how to do all that. And no questions asked. Nobody cared. Done. Now, if I'd have put that same graphic down in front of a business downtown, they'd have lost their shit.
Yeah.
They'd have gone nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is it okay for you, but not okay for the guy next door to you to do the exact same thing?
No. How's that saying go? I'm gonna try this one more time. What's good for the geese is not good for
gander?
Gander?
Something about a gander in there.
I got 80% there, right? Fuck, give me a little credit.
Yeah. Progress. We're all doing better.
That's it. It's all about doing better. Just getting better every day. Little by little.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to say that, what is it? The, Justin Pate, the rap institute. Never stop learning.
Never stop learning. Another plug.
And I know. I don't. I mean, and that's one thing I always tell my employees, if whatever you're doing, as long as it's not taking you longer than I think it should, and the results at the end are solid, I don't care how you did it.
Yeah.
To a degree. And, I've had things, I've done it this way for 15 years is how I've done it. And somebody comes in and they go, well, I do it like this. And I go, well, I'm a fucking idiot. Why wasn't I doing it like that the whole time?
I'll tell you, I binged, and I know I said this on the last podcast, I binged on the Rap Institute last weekend for like 5-6 hours. And I literally said the same thing. I'm just like, wow. Okay. So I've been doing it wrong for this long. And, ever since I have been implementing a lot of things like, things that are like so traditional. Like, you get in, and what I tell people is you get into a mood and a way of learning something and that's your comfort zone. That's the way you've done it. It kind of works. You don't get any callbacks, shit like that. But then you like realize like, fuck, all right, I can do it this way and it's better and it takes me less time to do it too. And it's like a fucking, I don't know. It's like a hurrah moment. You're like, oh my God, like why haven't I figured that out? I do it every day. You're wrapping a car, you're always doing a fucking corner. You're always doing a corner, whether it's a hood, a fender, a quarter panel, a fucking door. You're always doing a corner. It's like, damn, why haven't I been doing it like that nowadays? You know,
I'm still trying to find the fastest, the Sprinter vans.
Oh Jesus!
We're not talking cut and drop. The part nobody talks about, that transition on that little tiny back corner piece where it goes from the side to the back door.
Yeah,
there's that big gnarly fucking hinge on it.
Yeah.
And it has, concaves and curves all around, kind of protrudes out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I got to get all the way around this, make sure I got enough to get down that curve, can't overstretch it. And I honestly want to say sometimes I don't think I've ever done them the same twice.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's got to be a better way. Let me try this time. Okay, that sucked. Let me try this time.
Yeah. So you're talking about the hinge side of the door, where the side meets the
there's
barn
usually
door.
right there, that corner. There's usually that little rubber silicone gasket. It's about maybe a foot that it transitions from the side to the back. It's that little corner.
Yep.
And there's two big ass gnarly bulky hinges. And it's just always, there's gotta be a better way. Not that it's, the job looks bad, but there's gotta be a more efficient way.
Right.
Of doing this. Or consistent, possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. If you find one, let me know. Holy shit. You know what always gets me is the top section of those, whether it's, a Ford Transit or a Mercedes Sprinter, that top gather at the very, very top corner of the back. Just like not quite the roof, but it's like, dude, you always got like this weird leftover piece. It's like you either, put a slice in it and lay one side and overlap it. It's like you can never, if you stretch it, it's gonna fucking peel back. It's always gonna get the crow's feet. It's just too much. And there's never a good, that fucking corner is never a good corner. Every time I see something.
Yeah. What's got me out of that jam, I know exactly the spot you're talking about. And I don't know if it's, maybe I pull this way, you pull that way, whatever. But as I get that corner around there, I usually have that pucker. There's that extra material.
Yeah.
A couple inches off the corner that's right there. Well, that rubber gasket that goes up and down the whole vehicle, kind of separating them. I take, the body side, have it right up to that gasket, or have my corner on there, make sure I'm squeegee down good all the way to that little rubber gasket. I split it right there. Now I have a loose end coming back the other way, so I can do a little more manipulation with it to get some of that slack out of there.
Yeah.
And, if it's not 100%, it's on the fucking roof. The birds are the only ones going to see it.
Yeah, you got a good point. But it's always trying to do better. You know what I mean? How can it be more efficient?
I'd love to not make that cut. I'm sure there's somebody's like, oh my God, I can do those corners in 30 seconds. What's this guy's problem?
Right. But you never
call me. Do you know that method? Let me know, please.
Quick email. Send me a video, anything.
Video, yes, video.
Shit. But you never leave a lot of film up there. You got enough to get over the top. You never give yourself a little generously give yourself more up there. That way, if you wanted to stretch it, you got enough where it ain't gonna pull back. Like you basically pulling inches of film to try to fucking cover it, and you are right. I mean, nobody's gonna see it, but man, I'll tell you, when I do repairs or I'm fixing something else and I'm getting up on the ladder and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is going on up here? Like
what? Yeah, well, like I said, bottom line, even if it's done, it's solid blue. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's not a pattern or print that has to match up. I can put that up there and nobody sees it, but I think about it.
Right.
I haven't seen that van in a month and I'm like, oh my goodness.
What's that look like up there?
Is that corner still down? Should I put more sealer tape or pull up
shit.
Which and just the last few years, I finally come to realize I think possibly Primer 94 is the devil.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not, I used to be a little more reliant on it in certain things.
I gotta ask, do you have a flock of geese or something behind you?
Oh, you can hear it. A damn parakeet.
A parakeet?
My boss is fucking parakeet, whatever the hell you call it. He's up in our showroom here.
Holy shit.
Every once in a while, he gets a little,
he's getting
a little anxious.
A little hot in there. I've been wondering, I'm like, maybe it's a machine running or something. And I'm like, no, that's way too consistent because it's the same sound every time.
Yeah, I guess maybe I've learned to block it out. I don't notice.
That is so funny. I'm just like, what is going on over there? I literally thought it was a machine because I can hear you walking around. I'm like, oh, maybe he's looking at production, making sure everything's good, if he's still at the shop, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, that sounds like a bird. How big's the bird?
Oh my God, this bird is, I don't know, from the top of his head to the bottom of his tail feathers has got to be 3 feet or more.
Holy shit, how old is he?
He's a big old boy. Oh, that's my partner's bird. I have no idea how old he is.
Not a bird guy, I guess.
Yeah. But I'm definitely well known for not being able to sit still on the telephone. I have to pace. I walk. That's why I've just been doing circles around this printer the whole time we've been talking.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
It's the creative juices flowing.
That's it. I honestly cannot get over, even till this day, watching a printer print. It's literally, I could sit there in front of the printer and be like, wow, fucking technology. And especially when you got a cool fucking project going and that the color's right, the saturation's right, just everything is like spot on. You're just like, wow, I created that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely a satisfaction to a lot of this.
100%.
Even the little things. I want to do a backflip sometimes and I'm like, the laminate did not move an eighth of an inch while I was doing this whole roll. It's like perfect down the side.
Whew, don't get me started. I haven't had a laminated rant in a long time. Fuck. I love it.
I think you brought them up several times. I don't know if anybody had them, but I did have that Dage desktop laminator with the rubber belts or whatnot.
Yes.
And I think I ran that thing, actually the first box truck we ever wrapped. I'm like, I don't know how to set up a file with this printer. This was brand new. Mm-hmm. I don't know what resolution, color. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think the first time I did it actually wasn't even laminated. Like we didn't know.
Christ.
There was no internet to look this shit up.
Right.
There was no nothing. You want to buy that? Here, go for it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we got that lamb like I don't know what it was, $700, $1,000 at the time.
Fucking rinkety.
Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And after running the first wrap through it, I'm like, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah, fucking ruined the first 4 pieces.
Oh yeah. Oh, probably way more.
The whole side of the truck's ruined.
Yeah.
You think they'll see those wrinkles in the laminate up on the truck? Nah, let's just fucking put it on.
Now, if you're driving down the street, I guarantee you nobody's going to notice.
50-50. 50 feet, 50 miles. 1 hour.
Back then I used to have the mindset of, you know, if somebody doesn't buy a house from you because that little wrinkle right there, I'll redo it.
Right.
But, you know, nobody's going to be like, oh, I was going to buy all this product from you, but you got a little wrinkle in your wrap. So, yeah.
Forget about it. It's ruined.
Yeah. That's how I look at it now. I'm like, everybody thinks it's beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I'm like, well, you got that chip in your paint right there. I can see it a mile away, and there's this little nick that's driving me up the wall. Nobody in a million years is going to notice.
Well, that's the thing.
Is what it is.
It's the you know, just trying to be better and be like a perfectionist. I think all of us have a little, you know, what, ADD or whatever the case may be, you know, of, you know, being hyper focused on a specific project or task and trying to be 100% on that. And I beat myself up on a bad cut. I beat myself up all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the fucking thing. It's almost like there's a flashlight on it and the lights are out, and the flashlight's on it for me with the lights out. Yeah. Still, it bothers the fuck out of me. I'm just like, dude, you know, if the client sees that, it's game over. And it's like way behind. No one's ever gonna fucking see it, but it's just,
it's there.
Me.
You know it's there.
Yeah.
It eats away at you a little inside.
Oh, little. Yeah. Fuck, I go home dreaming of the shit. Didn't you hear you know, 30 minutes ago I was talking about dreaming about it? That's the shit I go home thinking of, like cutting something bad, and I'm just, you know, like I don't even know the words. I can't even explain the words of how I feel on something like that. It just makes me so mad. And then my boss will be like, don't worry about it, dude. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And like, I should just be like, okay, yeah, all right. If you don't give a fuck, then I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
I do get that, and sometimes I don't. You know, I kind of sometimes get into that mindset of it's perfect or it's totally wrong. Those are the two options you have.
There's no medium.
Yeah. And that's my own mindset.
I guess that's a good way to look at it. You know, it's either completely fucked up or it's good. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not even worth beating yourself up over it. I mean, nobody, 100% guarantee, nobody is 100% every day, all day. Just,
you can't be.
You can't be.
I had a customer once, speaking of the little things people don't notice, wanted a banner. I can't remember what it was, 5 by whatever. And, you know, you got 5 foot material, you print it, you hem it. It's, you know, it's not 5, it's a 1/4 inch short.
Right.
It's just a hair off, you know.
Right.
And we don't think anything of it. That's just the nature of the business, the nature of the game. That's how it is.
Right.
And
industry
this guy
standard
brought it back. He brought this banner back. He's like, this isn't 5 feet. It's off by, you know, 3/8, 1/4 of an inch. And not knowing it at the time, this guy had some sort of little rigged up frame he was putting it in, and being that much off, it just wasn't working for him.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, well, you know, saying those 3 words at the beginning, we could have avoided all of this shit, dude.
Hey, I got a frame that it needs to fit in. Oh, so you need it to be specifically sized, not industry. You know, you always tell somebody, you know, okay, I'm going to get a 4 foot banner. You know, you're always going to hem it in an inch. You're going to lose a little bit, whatever. It is what it is. And it's like,
you know, 2x4 is not 2x4.
Right. Exactly. Even better. if you're a fucking carpenter, a 2x6 is not a 2x6.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more or a little bit less. It's not fucking, 5/4 ain't 5/4. It's, it's just, I've grown to learn, like, you have to be literal sometimes, and you almost have to over engineer things for people and just be like, listen, okay, let me cover all my bases first, and let me get the bullshit out. So that way, if you have any questions about it, at least we'll deal with the issue now, as opposed to after I'm done creating this product, talking about it then. You know what I mean? Does it need to be a specific color? Do you need a Pantone? Is it fitting in a frame? Is it just going to be hung? Is it this? Like, it's almost like throwing everything but the kitchen sink at them to make them understand, like, hey, there's a lot of variables that can go wrong. I can keep it simple, industry, and I'm going to do what's just cookie cutter and like normal. Or if you have something more custom, I need to know I need to give you a custom price because everything changes after that.
Yeah, we're outside the box now.
Right.
You've added a couple minutes of my production. You've added a couple minutes to this guy trimming it.
Yep.
And all those minutes add up. I don't think a lot of people factor a lot of that in. And usually that's the guy that needs it rushed. I gotta have it this afternoon. You crank it out, 5 o'clock rolls around here, and he's like, well, I'll be by next week.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Fucking drives me bananas. I'll charge you extra for that shit. You don't come get it today, it's gonna be double. Like, don't piss me off. Like,
yeah, we've actually been talking, about implementing. I have customers, I'm bringing my truck in Thursday morning. I get it back Friday afternoon. Everybody's great.
Right.
Then Thursday morning rolls around. They don't show up.
Wow.
And, I know it could have been an emergency. Something could have happened. But usually it's something tiny, nitpicky thing. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to charge you for that. Cause you know what a pain in the ass it's going to be on my side to find time for you now.
Well, that,
somebody's got to stay late. Somebody's got to come in early. That's our only two options. We don't have more time in a day.
You lost out the work for the day. You know what I mean? It's just, what are you
now
gonna
I got
do?
a guy sitting around twiddling his thumbs.
Right. You gotta switch out the whole schedule. You gotta find somebody to fill that spot and et cetera, et cetera. It's just, honestly, I just feel like people don't understand that part. It's like, dude, a phone call, a text message, an email, something to that nature will get you out of me being pissed off. Like, anything. Please. Just be respectful. I'm running a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, our time, we have families and things to get home to also.
Right.
As much as we thought we eat, breathe, sleep, and dream this stuff, there's more to us than that.
100%. 100%. And I feel like, people coming last minute, and you're giving them the last minute price, and it's a little bit more than what they would be expecting. It's like, would you be expecting any less than that? Really? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you with an emergency with, hey, my AC's not working. Well, you're going to come on at 6 o'clock to come fix it. Well, you got to charge me a little bit more. I'm expecting you to charge me more because it's after hours. Like, that's expected. Why is it that us being in this trade, in this industry, why do they make it seem like it's almost, I don't know. I don't want to say like a joke, but it's almost like, hey, you put stickers on cars. It's just, this is all right.
Yeah. If it were only that easy.
If it was only that easy. It's like, dude, let me give you a piece of vinyl, have you put it on your truck straight. I want to see how long it takes you to fucking do that. You're paying me for all the years of my fuck ups to do that job in 5 minutes that it would have taken you a half an hour.
Yeah.
And then they get mad. Why are you charging me $150? You did that in 10 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes over the course of 15 years? Hey, it didn't take me 10 minutes 15 years ago. You pay for the experience. What the fuck?
Right.
You're in and out, dude.
Yeah, I get, some of our corporate accounts. One that really kind of gets to me is they're like, well, you can't talk about this. Non-disclosures with these graphics. whether it's something they might have sent us the art that we print and install, or they just sent the graphics into us.
Right.
You know, you can't put this on social media. You can't talk to anybody. Don't let anybody know you did this. And by the way, you can't start installing this till midnight when the store is closed or the mall closes.
Jesus Christ.
And we're going to pay you $1 a square foot to put it on.
No thanks.
And I'm like, well, hey, there's a difference between me doing it at 12 in the afternoon and 12 midnight. Right. There's a major price change there, buddy.
Yeah.
You know? You don't think they realize some of that stuff. And it's, you know, I know like a lot of the corporate guys or some of these jobs we get, they're trying to put as much money in their pocket as they can. I get 100%. That. I mean, that's what everybody's trying to do.
Save it somewhere else. You know what I mean? They already do it. They already not laminate the shit. They already liquid laminate it. They fucking transfer paper the shit. It's like, dude, how much of an asshole can you be? Now you're fucking the last guy putting it on? Come on.
Yeah. I have, one of the projects we're working on here, and like not, well, fuck if they hear it, whatever. These, Cox Communications.
Oh, the vans. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's a grand total in my area that we're doing of about 2,000 of them.
Holy shit.
Most of them, you know, little pickups, F-150s. They got a ton of these, Sprinter vans.
Yep.
The letters are just their name, die cut.
Yep.
Out of control tack. Mm-hmm. Regular 180, 3M 180 control tack.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's those deep ass recesses.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you've got this letter C that overhangs this recess by 2 inches. And then you want me to stretch that 2 inches another, you know, 60% to get it down in that groove.
Not gonna work.
And you think it's gonna stay? Not gonna happen. Actually, what we had done the first one, I told the guy, I'm like, that's not gonna work. Cause they wouldn't even let us know what the material was until we had the first van here and opened a box.
Jesus Christ. And what was your reaction when you opened the box?
Liquid laminate.
Yep. Transfer 180. Paper. Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. Application tape, the whole thing.
Shit.
I told that we unfortunately are responsible for going to pick up some of these vehicles, bring them back to us and deliver.
Jeez.
Now out of these thousands there are, I get 2 at a time.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, come on, you know, load up that garage and let's just start hammering them out.
That's the only way you can do it.
I had to tell the guy, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna, not cut, you know, like knifeless, but you might have a little tiny gap of white open up right here.
Right.
Because I know this is going to fail on you. So I'm going to make this relief cut, with the knifeless back there, lay it down right in that groove first, stretch it down, pull the knifeless, post heat, let it separate a little bit. I know I don't have to come back to it ever.
Right.
Told the guy that and he's like, oh, you know, okay. Cause we've had issues with lifting before. We knock out, you know, the first 10, 12 of these things and they send out this mass email to, I guess, all the installers doing these kind of jobs across the country saying, hey, this might be a problem. You guys might want to start doing a relief cut here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that was done on the first one, dude. Where you been?
You know what? It's people that don't understand the industry. You know, these are just production people creating these graphics, you know, in some type of like warehouse or whatever the case may be that have no knowledge of the capabilities of the product. You know what I mean? They're giving you everything that is completely wrong to do the job. Well, no, I don't want to say wrong because to an extent it is okay, but at the end of the day, you know, I would almost say industry standard is to cut and drop every time on those recessed areas. I mean, that's just anybody worth their fucking, you know, worth gold. It just would know if I ever see a truck that is pushed in, I'd be like, they don't know what the product is, what they're using. It's just lack of knowledge. But if I see one that's cut, I'm like, that motherfucker knows what he's doing because he ain't getting a call back. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and it's just a money saver, on your time.
100%.
And I don't care, like I said, I'm 3M certified. We went through all this stuff at the school up in Minnesota. And I, follow the rules by the book to the T, what 3M says to do. And I'll get a failure every now and then.
Yeah, but they say that, but at the end of the day too, there's always that guarantee that it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they do to cover their ass. Yeah. You can implement it and do it 100%, but there's that 50%, it might not work still.
Yeah, that's how I tell them. I am 80% sure that'll stay down.
Yeah, 80%, but there's still that extra 20. So don't shoot me if that 20% comes back to bite me. Yeah. It's just, it is what it is.
Usually the issue I have with folks on that cut and drop is, they might have a full almost yellow or black. They're doing a almost total color change almost in their background, not much to it.
Yep.
And, it's that white showing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, I'm no longer ever implementing that stretch it in there. It's cut and drop from here on out.
100%.
And if I get I don't really bring it up to the customer too much. I'm like, that's just how it's done. That's standard. And if I can get that vibe that I can kind of tell before we even gotten that far into the project, they're going to be that nitpicky, if you will, call it that.
Yep.
The simple fix is I put a strip of black in that little gap first. Now, if there's a gap, it matches all the other black on your vehicle. Let's get it done. Go, you get on the road, go make you some money, and let's call it a day.
Right. Yeah. A little bit of mold and hold in certain areas. I've implemented, which is a great tool. I think that it's underrated, is the dual cut XL blade that has the 2 blades on it where you can adjust.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, you adjust that to the width of the recessed area of the gap. Mm-hmm. Dude, and you have just, regular black vinyl sitting around or yellow vinyl or whatever color you want to put in there as your relief color. You can just cut those stripes all out by hand. You don't need a cutter. You don't need a template, nothing. You figure out your width, you cut them out, you stick them in, wrap, relief cut it, done. Clean, easy, ready to go. And it's even great for like little fixes. If you gotta have like little things that you need to like fix around a window because you cut it short, you need a little bit of black, you could just do a little bit of that, done deal. Good to go. It's unreal. Like I don't know if you remember at the Rap Institute, but the little tricks, like the stupid trick, which was like unreal because I've been in this scenario more times than I can even imagine, where you gotta cut a stripe and you need a little bit, you need a specific, measurement. He takes the fucking backing paper on the slippy side, the slip side, you know what I mean? The
waxy side.
Yeah. You flip it over so you almost make like a, I don't know, almost like a barrier where the vinyl won't get stuck. You stick the blade in, you stick it through the whole entire thing, and you push the vinyl out of it. It will cut the length that you need it for whatever width the paper that you fold it over. I don't know if it really makes sense if I'm explaining it right, but if anybody's been on there, they've seen this technique. It's just like you fold the paper to the width you need it, and you stick the vinyl through it. Say you need like 2 inches. Well, you fold over a 2-inch gap on the paper, stick your blade in at that 2 inches, and slide the vinyl through, and you're always
going
to
get the fold of it.
Yes, and you're always going to get the same amount because all you're doing is you're holding the blade down on the 2 inches, and this stuff's just like it's almost acting as like a table. It's just going to go right up to the crease where you made the fold, and it's just going to glide out. Boom, you got your 2-inch strip. Boom. It's kind of messed up if anybody's like looking at me weird or listening and be like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? It's just, you got to see it.
Sometimes it says goofy things. I hate to say it, but I think one of the almost eye-opening tips I got from the Rap Institute was talking about dealing with your trash.
Yes.
And he pulled off the liner paper, rolled it up in a big thing, and put that in a garbage can. Now all of a sudden he had a 54-inch tall garbage can.
Right.
Because the paper was holding it open, and I was like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And at the end of the day, you would have been going to the trash barrel 50 times.
Yeah, or it's stuck all over everything on the floor, or there's little tiny little make this little tip off here, make that little tiny cut here, and then you're picking it off your shoes and your ass for the next 3 days. And
right.
I will say you can get some control tack. I don't know what it is, but you can stick some of that to your jeans or pants. You can wash them a couple times. That stuff doesn't come off.
Coming off.
It'll make it through the washer and dryer quite a few times.
I've had it in my pocket a couple times, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Thinking it's like, money. I'll go in there and be like, what is this rolled up in here? Fucking piece of vinyl.
Money.
Yeah.
That is the greatest feeling, taking like some pants out of the drawer to get dressed and you find some cash in the pocket.
Yeah, you find $1. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy as a
I won the fucking lottery.
Right? Right? Change is for the birds. It's just, I hate having change in my pocket. I hate hearing clinking and all this shit. It's just whatever. But when you find $1 bill in there, whoo! I'm gonna go buy me a lottery ticket.
That's it. I can't hate on change. I am a change saver. Actually taking a vacation here in a couple of weeks. It's completely funded by me and my wife saving change.
Get the fuck out of here.
I shit you not, man.
Where are you going? And how long are you saving this?
We're going to the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Holy
It'll be like
shit.
said, my son's never seen a desert, and I'm like, well, I'll show you the ultimate desert.
Right? Yeah.
Something he wanted to see.
That's as dry as it's gonna get.
Yeah. But no, seriously, throw that, all that change in your pocket in a little jar at the end of the day, and before we know it, we kind of filled one of these things up and go, okay, that's about, $400 fits in there.
Oh.
And then now I'm looking at it and go, I got 6 or 7 of these things. When did that happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, I'm about to piss somebody off that works for Coinstar here real soon, but.
Sitting at the bank just dumping barrels into the coin dispensary. It's just like, come on.
I wish I'd have got in on that when the first time I ever saw that when I was in California. Came back home to Florida here, and I was like, there's this great invention called a Coinstar machine.
Yes.
It's the next big thing. And I was like, no, whatever. And I'm like, now I see them everywhere I go. But it's like 1.5 cents.
1.5 cents on every, yeah, they get you. That's how they make their money. It's all right though. But if you go to your own bank, they're not all banks have them, but if you go to your own bank that you bank with, it's free. They don't charge you anything.
Yeah. Yeah. My bank has one of those counters now. I remember at one point they're like, you got to roll it and write your name and address. I mean, that was years ago. And I'm like, I'll just keep the change. It's not worth all that fucking work.
That's so funny. Man, I have to tell you, technology is like on a whole nother level where, I got a pretty cool project, wrapping some, like Amazon has those containers and like gas stations or shit like that. They're like wrapping those like all over the place. I'll tell you, that's just amazing that, somebody will go there and put your shit in a box, and you go there and you type in the box number and your code and it opens up dude, that's just, what? Like nobody's even getting mail anymore. It's just rolling up to these boxes and grabbing your shit.
I heard, they were talking about on Stern the other morning, I was coming into work, where Amazon will deliver to your car.
That's a new law. You don't want somebody snatching your package off the porch.
You can go, well, hey, I can meet you at 6th Street, blah, blah, blah at this time. And someone will just bring it to wherever you're parked.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little scary as far as, I don't want to say the laziness of people sometimes, but the convenience of being able to get what you want when you want on your fingertips is a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, like I say, I'm very grateful for a lot of it. It's like say, starting out, people going, what's this internet thing I'm hearing about?
Right.
The dial-up modem.
Oh, Jesus.
And now I'm like, I've got more computing power than NASA on my phone.
Right.
Now.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually just learned, I didn't know that iPhones have a magnifier, not just like zooming in with your camera, a special magnifier built into your camera. You have to go up into your settings and turn on like a shortcut for it. When we were doing some, print head alignments on this R1000, it has that optimizer and the overcoat, which are clear. Mm-hmm. You can't see them and you have to align those heads. And the guy was showing me, he's like, oh, you just turn this magnifier on. If you can't see it, you can change it to like a red, blue, yellow, green, change the spectrum you're looking for it at. And all of a sudden these clear lines we couldn't see turned black and white. And I could see them. And I was like, I did not even know this was here. What in the hell? So now, well, of course, as soon as he went through all that of doing, that calibration or print head alignments on this clear, overcoat and optimizer, he's like, oh, firmware version 2's coming out next week and now it does it automatically.
Oh,
I'm like, thank God. Cause that was not the easiest trying to figure out which line was more lined up on clear.
Yeah, no. That's why you pay someone to come in and be like, hey, listen, just come over here and fix this for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess it up.
That's one I kind of skipped over and talking earlier, and I don't know if other, manufacturers offer this, but with this flatbed, one of the techs mentioned you can take a secondary training, at HP, I think at their headquarters in Georgia, or one of their spots in Georgia, to where they will teach you a lot more of the mechanics and replacing, parts, changing out ink lines, a lot more of what you'd have to call a tech for. Mm. You can go yourself and get certified in repairing your own machine. With that comes a huge reduction in, your service contract.
Really?
Because you've basically become your own tech now.
Wow.
And so reduction in your service contract, and they're just going to go, okay, this is something you can handle. We're sending you the parts. Take care of it.
I don't know if I got enough room to figure out, the ins and outs of the printer on top of running a shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like people have, the 1%ers of, not scientists, but like the crazy people, like take for instance, I don't know if you watch Jeopardy, but this motherfucker on Jeopardy, 2.2 million, he's been on the show 30 days now. How the fuck do you know all this shit? And you win every day. What?
Yeah. There was, Joe Rogan had this thing where he doesn't know technology. I don't know that shit either. And he goes, say the world got wiped out tomorrow or whatever the scenario is. You're out here living in the woods. I give you a coconut and some sticks to start a fire. How long till you send me an email?
Yeah.
I'm like, you would never get that email. You might get some smoke signals from me.
Right.
But other than that, as far as I'm concerned, everything that happens in this box is magic.
Dude, honestly, I just feel like people have the room in their minds of, either photographic memory and they just store it and they just, like, for me, I know what I know and then that's it. Like, I don't want to know anything else. Like, my mind is already fucking, I got 2 gigs and I'm at 1.99. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good.
I love that technical side of some of this.
Oh.
That's one of the things I think, I try to strive for, say color calibration. Mm. I know every shop in my town, I know, and everybody knows everybody at every shop. It's not a big secret. And, they go, I got a new printer. I need a profile for this 3M media. I can go to 3M. I can download it. Okay, I'm printing. And I go, well, that's a media profile. that's not an ICC profile.
Mm.
Your color, you're still not there color wise. And, I don't think probably a handful of people would know what I'm talking about if I ask them what their delta E numbers are on reproducing some of these colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some nerdy, geeky shit like that I almost can't get enough of sometimes.
Shit.
I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I don't even want to mess with all those settings. There's just too much. You can mess with your blacks, your reds, your yellows, your greens.
If you put in the time to it, and it does take time.
Oh my God.
To do this.
How long did it take you to kind of know enough where you knew if you did something wrong, you could fix it?
It took a long time. I mean, when we first started this, any large format printing, like I said, I was telling a guy the first job I had, the guy was sending me like a 4x8 banner, and I was going, I don't know, 300 DPI, full size. Jesus. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They'll sell you a printer. It doesn't mean they're going to teach you how to use it.
Right. Oh shit.
But yeah, I get in. I geek out on some of the technical side of this because I want to know why. This is working. It looks great. Why? Because if something goes wrong, I'm not going to sit there and be scratching my head for a day figuring out why is this green not the same as it was yesterday. I can go, it's going to be A, B, or C as our culprit. Let's look at those. Bam, done. We're fixed. We're back on track.
Speaking of fucking why the green wasn't green yesterday, dude, we did a job last week and it was a gradient. I don't know if it was just because it was a gradient that the problem occurred, but I'll tell you, we had to replace the 4 doors. Full wrap. We just had to replace the 4 doors because I forget what it was. The handles weren't correctly wrapped and it just needed to get fixed. And, printed the same job, still in the rip, no cropping, just reprint the fucking thing. Uh-huh. It was,
print the whole door. You didn't section out a little piece for the handle?
No. It was behind the handle. It was all fucked up. It was just not a good look. It just wasn't finished the right way that we wanted it to be finished. So it's just like scrap the doors. It's just easier to fucking do the whole doors over again. Problem was it was the lack of knowledge in the capabilities of the shop. So they didn't remove the door handles off, which would have taken all of 10 minutes. They just didn't want to. So they tented over it, cut it, it fucking curled back, and it was a nightmare. Yeah. It's just not going to work. Take the handles. I ended up taking the handles off, ripping the doors off, having them rewrap it. And it was like a bluish purple into like a really light blue in the front, I think it was. Like I said, printed the same exact job. Again, nothing's changed. Same machine, whatever the case may be. Dude, the color was like night and day. Like I thought we had to print the whole fucking thing over again. It was so, I'm like, why did that happen? That's crazy. Like what's the disconnect? And, I don't know what it was because I'm not in the print lab. I don't deal with a lot of the print lab unless it's like one of my jobs and I have to like oversee it. But like, I was like, dude, why? And it was the HP that we had because we have a couple Epsons and we have a couple HPs and it was the HP and it was like, holy shit. How is this going to happen if there's an issue here, we're going to have to reprint the quarters and the fenders now. It's just, we're already thinking worst case scenario. And, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's like the warmth, like,
humidity can be a big thing. Yeah.
Like, how hot is everything? Is it the first print of the day? Is it the 5th print of the day? It's, when it went into production, was it at the end of the day or the beginning? Like, dude, it is just fucking mind blowing. Like, HP and latex and how crazy the colors can be without even like, you're using the same everything. It's literally comes down to like temperature and did Did you, put a new print head in? Did you change the ink? It fucking messes with everything. It's crazy.
There is a setting, I think it holds true for most HPs. There is a altitude setting in your printer to where, I'm here in Florida, damn near almost at sea level, and you take somebody who's in Colorado, way above sea level,
right?
And there's an altitude setting in that printer.
What would that do? How would it know? You know what I mean? If you're in a room and it's temperatured and it's whatever, why would that be any different than what you got? If your temperature in your production room is 72 degrees and this guy in Colorado, same idea, 72 degrees, it's climate controlled. Why would his prints be different than your prints if everything else is the same?
Yeah, it's weird shit, dude. I've got a job. I had another guy working here, doing some art and running one of the 360, and we printed a couple of wraps for this fleet AC company. Eventually, that guy went on to somewhere else. I'm like, okay, we got another one. I opened up. It's a repeat.
Right.
Open up that file, send her to print. They're like, this color is so fucked.
Yeah.
What is going on? And had to go back and look through I could not figure it out no matter how much I tried. What I eventually figured out is he was working in a RGB document using lab colors.
Oh, what the
and then
where do you even find lab?
Yeah. And then, that'll come in a lot into play when you start using your spectrophotometer, Jeff.
Holy
You gotta learn lab colors. But then he was also printing it on a middle of the road, IJ35, vinyl profile.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I actually still have to this day when this comes up, just cause this guy's color fleet has to be consistent, taped up on my desk. Make sure if you have this, you have to run this profile, these passes, do this, spot color replacement in Onyx and make sure it's set up. It's so much work, but the first handful got done that way. So I'm stuck doing them this wacky ass way. Hopefully I'm doing it this wacky ass way forever, but, it's what makes his color is this crazy string of, screw ups, if you will, but that's what gave the customer the color they wanted. So we got to keep screwing it up to give him that color.
Sometimes it takes screwing it up to get it right.
Yeah. That's just speaking of screwing it up in color. This was, like 30-yard print I was telling you about on the, translucent stuff. That was a good screw up for me. It was, all red on the top and had a little blue bar at the bottom with their phone number or something like that. The customer that brought it in, I don't know if 100% he knows what he's doing. But his graphics come in, everything is solid pink. Everything. Like if you have an O, the center of the O, you have to have it combined with the outside edge. So there's a hole in the middle and all that goes with that.
Yeah, compound. It needs to be compounded.
I'm going through it, compounding all that shit, putting it together, and I made the top red. I flip-flopped the colors.
Oh, shit.
Just dealing with the headache at the artwork side of it, oversight, and I sent that 30 yards out. Like I said, it printed an hour and a half, 100% wrong, but it still only took an hour and a half.
Oh, fuck.
And like I said, one of those things, I was in the zone, combining this, getting the artwork going. Okay, perfect. Damn, that's that spot color dead on. That's that spot color. And it's just, they were the wrong spot colors in the wrong place.
Reversed. Yeah, it's always, even though it may be repetitive, it's always best to send a proof again for confirmation.
Yeah, and I said this was a guy, I said the lighted sign guy, I'm dealing with him 3 times a week, it's more friendly to a degree.
Right.
He brought in a JPEG And it's like, I need you to make this color this. And I'm like, whoa, JPEG, hold on, back up a little bit. If you can hand me vector, I can pick, I'll spot match anything you got. When he sent me back, it's all pink. I start doing my thing, and just before I know it, he's calling me up going, I think you did this wrong.
No.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Here we go.
Yep.
The one time, but always bites you in the ass, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the whole time I'm looking at it going, damn it, look how red this red is. This is amazing. Too bad it's supposed to be blue.
Oh, Jesus. We've all had that, we've all had that scenario. Just recently there was, artwork that came in for a project, and we produced it, profiled it, produced it. We didn't design it. So we just, made it fit in the template, produced it, put it on. Well, apparently, as it was printing, we didn't notice there was a clip mask of some sort halfway through the box truck, and it completely,
different color
on a gradient. It just like straight lined it, cut right down the middle. Boom. It just went from gradient to fucking bright lime green. No transition, no smoothness or nothing. So, got laminated. It went through so many eyes. Nobody was just like, why is there a line here? Is this right? Even the installers fucking put it on, sent a picture. They're like, whoa, why is there a straight line on panel 3? That's fucked up. It's not a full gradient. Go back to the file, and it was it was just hidden. Like, you don't see, what's funny? You don't see that when you're designing. But
it's only,
when you
this
rip
big
it
on the screen.
Yeah, well, not even. If you zoomed in, like, super close, you can't tell. Like, you couldn't tell there was a clip mask there because it was so smooth, but like something to do with the rip, it just finds it, and it's just like, haha, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm gonna fuck you on this one.
Yeah. I don't know what rip used. Onyx, when I first started with that did that exact same thing to me.
We have Onyx.
It has, you can do, that spot color replacement or whatever, but it goes, yeah, that's great. I'm not going to read anything through this clipping mask, though. I'll change the color all around it.
Yes.
But whatever's in that clipping mask, I'm not fucking with.
What? Dude.
And I run something, and it was these displays for a makeup company.
Oh, jeez.
And they had it looked like little piles of the makeup powder, showing all the colors of the makeup and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were running these things at night. Let the machine run at night. I print them. That starts the first couple feet come out. I'm like, all right, great. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come back in the morning. Around every one of those little piles of powder for the makeup, it's a different color square around every one of them.
Oh my God.
And I'm on the phone. What's going on today? I'm like, is there a clipping mask on those? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, yeah, that's not going to work that way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
not on the screen, but when you print it, it's there.
You can't see it, but it's gonna be there.
Oh fuck, dude! It's just like, what drives me nuts is when people don't weld shit either, and it's like a hard line. It's like a fucking. It's not that visible.
Fucking script.
Yeah,
font. They broke apart, and it's
oh my God, dude! It's like, thank you. I'm gonna spend all day fucking welding and compounding and welding and dude, no. Send it back.
I had a shop I worked at once many years ago, and there was a label on the plotter, and it said, "Did you weld?"
Yeah.
Before you loaded that material in there, and they started cutting something, I start cutting this shit all between the letters, overlapping and everything. Because on a script font, the letters overlap, and it would cut through those overlaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had it right there by the pinch roller level. Did you weld?
No.
And it made you think about it every time before you send a job out.
Dude, I had that happen recently, and I'm pretty good at making sure everything's welded. And I welded everything, and I bought a design, or an element. It was this hook thing from, Shutterstock. So I bought it, and I added it, and it said, crane service on there and whatever. And I didn't know. Again, we're going back to clip masks and all this shit. Well, I had all these gradients, and they, instead of having a gradient, they had them all clip masked and shit. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna, weld make a contour cut, I'll copy and paste it up to my contour cut, folder and I'll weld the whole thing and add my, make sure it's, cut contoured pink color and et cetera. And everything looked great. Dude, it cut right down through the fucking letter. And I'm like, dude, what is going on? He's like, yeah. He's like, again, Onyx again, fucking, you don't see it, but it saw it and it was like, oh, I'm going to fuck you on this and just cut all the letters out and cut a big,
right at the last stage. That's when I'm going to fuck you.
The hook just fucking cut right through the letters. I'm like, what? Because it was like behind like the first the C in Crane and the S. It was kind of just like tucked behind it a little bit. It cut right down the fucking C and S. And I'm like, he calls me over. He's like, dude, you didn't weld it. I'm like, dude, I welded it. I know I welded it. Check my file. He's like, he's like, fucking, they clip masked all the shit. So it just found all the lines and just fucking cut you all the way through. I'm like, oh my God, why? So a quick fix was he had to bring it back to, I think what he did was he brought it back to Photoshop or rasterized it, flattened it, and then created an outline off of that. It was a fucking mess. I was like, dude, I don't really want to deal with it. If you could fucking do it, cause you already know what the problem is, you're probably going to get it done way faster than me. And he did, thank God, because I could not, because we ended up doing two cranes with all this shit on it. And I'm like, there's no, in reflective, by the way.
Oh.
So,
super.
Not only did I fuck up, but then I fucked up on some expensive shit. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah.
No thanks.
Oh.
All set.
Yeah. I've got one thing, like I said, scared the shit out of me to print. I don't know. Have you ever heard of a material called Illumi graphics?
Illumi graphics? Is that the shit that lights up?
No, it's actually made of, if you can imagine vinyl, instead of vinyl, it's aluminum.
And it's in a core?
It's rolled, it's self-adhesive. Huh. They make two types. One is super smooth, just like any kind of vinyl or film.
Yeah.
The other they call Illumi Graphics Grip. It's almost like a sandpaper, if you will.
Damn.
Not as much, but it's meant, floor graphics, sidewalk graphics.
Oh, is it like is it a laminate or is it the film?
It's the film.
Oh.
The grip, they actually don't even want you to laminate because it's got like that sandpaper texture.
Right.
It's just not going to sink down and everything. Which, again, let's go back to my new favorite child, the HP here. It has that overcoat, so now I can technically put a hardener over the top of this stuff and make it last longer. But yeah, if you could imagine putting aluminum foil sandpaper in your printer and the first time that print head moved over it, I was like, I just ruined this machine. Is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Everything about this is meant to destroy my printer. But like I said, sidewalk graphics, I can't beat this stuff. No laminate, print it, no laminate. You rub it on with your hands, step on it a couple times. It's done.
Really?
It's a little pricey. But like I said, you look at some of the 3M films, and you're going to have to add some sort of, non-slip laminate to the top.
Right.
Most of it's, this is promotional stuff anyway. It's going to be out there a couple months or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, this has the non-slip and everything built right into it. You just got to suck it up and kind of not look while that thing's going to print and let it run.
Yeah, I had a scare recently. Well, I didn't have a scare. I was pretty confident in it. Everybody else had a scare because they had a bad taste in their mouth from prior fuck ups, which was printing on magnet material. We got this huge job doing all these like vehicle numbers, and they wanted 4 numbers of each, and it was like literally 2,000 stickers or some shit. Well, 2,000 pieces of laminate. Pieces of magnet.
Yeah.
It was like T-01 through fucking T-20. And then it was like TR-324 through, it was just a lot of fucking numbers, and it was small ones and large ones, and we wanted to do it in-house. And I'm like, great, let's print it on magnet. They make the shit. We got the printers. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's make some money. And, everybody in the design lab were like, no, we had bad fucking news. Like, I got 2 head strikes. Fuck that. It's not even worth it. Just sub it out. Well, we didn't price it out to sub it out. We priced it out to do it in-house. And it's,
in-house.
You know, we're making great money. If we can figure this out, we're going to make a lot of money. Like, it's going to be a great job for not a lot of work. And it was no question in our mind. Worst case scenario, we print, we fucking laminate, we fucking put it, it's a stupid process. Yes, I get it. It's fucking too much production and into it. And would we be losing money? Maybe not be losing money, but we wouldn't be making a lot more profit than we would be skipping all those steps. So my boss was like, dude, call whoever you have to call, manufacturers, supplier, whoever you need to call to figure out how to print it on the Epson. This is where we're going to print it because the Epson needs a new head. Let's just fucking, if it's going to fucking shit the bed, it's going to shit the bed on that one. So it's already on its way out. We'll use that as the guinea pig. And, our head, this design lab production, her name's Emily. She takes care of everything. She maintenances all the machines. She deals with all that stuff in and out. And, she was like, Jeff, no, like, there's no way. It ain't gonna work. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you use in the past? She's like, it was a 20 mil, magnetic. I always see ads on Magnum. That's what it was. Dude, It's funny. I typed that shit into my phone and like literally I look on Instagram feeds and I see Magnum Mag and I never did before. And I'm like, wow.
Isn't that crazy how they listen to you? You talk about something and ads are popping up.
Dude, it drives me nuts. I'm like, this is fucking scary shit. I don't even want to get into that. That's scary that it even does that. And that was a month ago and I still see Magnum Mag fucking ads on. It drives me nuts. And, I was like, fuck it. I did my due diligence. I called Magnum Mags and I talked to a guy. I'm like, listen, we had a bad taste in our mouth years ago. Never did it again. How do we fix this? So he had us download the profiles, which kind of is honestly a pain in the balls. You have to fill out a fucking form online, tell them what type of machine you have, and they email you the fucking things. It's not like get it, download it, and go like all the other profiles. Dude, it's like they need to streamline that. So that was one conversation. I'm like, dude, too many fucking steps, bro. I need to fucking get this shit. I already ordered it. It's here. I need to get printing, like now. He's like, oh, just fill it out. It takes a half an hour. You'll be fine. We'll get it to you within a half an hour. Fucking Emily is so like ADD. She fucking puts the timer on. As soon as she hits submit, she puts the timer on for 30 minutes to see if they do it. Cause if not, she's fucking calling them and saying, you guys are false advertising. You guys can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But
hell yeah.
Needless to say, they fucking sent it. It was good. And, I'll tell you, I used the 30 mil. Anybody that's scared about using it, thinking of a 30 mil or the thickness of the material, you have to take that into consideration because if you use think about it, if you use a thinner material and your heat is kind of high, cause you have to put your heat up high for it because you're going through the magnet. It's like, it needs to be hot. It's not warm.
Yeah,
it's hot.
Gonna buckle and all that
bullshit. You have to find an easy medium. So we ended up running, and by the way, if you have any, metal in your machine, whether it's in the beginning of, your heaters, your preheaters or your heater in front, you have to tape that shit all up or it's gonna fuck your shit up. That's
I've
a
gotten
given.
through the printing process of it, it's usually the plotter. Like I said, it's magnets cut to a circle or whatever.
Yeah, fuck
the
that.
plotter wants to fuck me with the stick into it.
Yeah, no, I was not. Luckily, these were rectangular, and we just put them. I had it profiled perfectly where all of them were aligned perfect, so it was only a few cuts, and you could cut all of them out. They were like perfect. So at least the prep was there, and so the production could be easier. So she's like, "There's no way this is gonna happen. It's gonna fucking buckle up." Well, we get through a run. It's like 80 inches long. Not one head strike. Not a drop of ink. The fucking dude. Like, everybody was looking at me like I was God. They were like, "Holy shit, what did you do?" And I told him, I'm like, "I don't know, just fucking put the shit in, did the profile." He said, "Put the heat up." You know what I mean? It's just, I let the preheater be a little bit low. I think it was like 33 degrees. And then the heater directly over the print head was like 45. And then because the Epsons have that long, dryer, I had that up to 55 just to ensure the shit was like good, because you don't want it hot getting to the heads, because that's when you get that buckling situation,
right?
And that could cause like a small, not like a head strike where it would stop, but it would just graze it enough to like lay a little bit of ink where you don't want it.
Exactly. You can't wipe it off before you finish it.
No, there's no, and I even tried, there were a couple that got hit, and I even tried to clean it with the print head cleaner that you would use. And, I ended up making a mess. I ended up hitting the fucking letter and smudging it, making it worse. So it's just easier to reprint it.
Yeah. Well, there's a super easy fix for that.
Taping it?
Print them on the flatbed.
Print them on a flatbed. It all comes full circle.
Vacuum that shit all the way down.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I reached out to, who did I reach out to? Insignia Wraps. Ironically enough, I had him on the show the week before, and, Rick, and I asked him, because he had bought a flatbed as well, and I was like, "Dude, you know, what's the trick? Can you give me a little pointers on how to print on this shit? Because I don't know. Everybody's giving me the fucking thumbs down here. I don't know what to do." He even said the same thing. He's like, "Just print the shit on the film and put it on." I'm like, "Dude, way too many steps. Like, way too many. It ain't gonna work, you know?"
Just print it on vinyl, you mean? And apply it to the magnet?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's not gonna work.
Well, treat your, print like a laminate. Throw your magnet in the laminator, use the print as the laminate, and just let that shit roll.
Yeah.
Let that do the install for you.
If you had enough faith in your laminator for that.
I will say, I've got a, Royal Sovereign laminator we've been using for the last several years, and I'm never going to talk down to it. I'm not going to cuss and kick it like some of my others in the past. This thing has just worked. We got
a new one. We got a new one. So we kicked the old Royal Sovereign to the dump. You know what I mean? But the newer ones, they're a little bit different modeled, and they're same setup, but they're just a little bit different, like the way the buttons are and stuff. But I'll tell you, dude, like, we print hundreds of square feet a day, hundreds of square feet, and literally no issues. The old one, 10 years old, the rollers were warped just beyond
cut to shit and back.
No, honestly, they weren't cut. They were just warped from all the laminating. It wasn't tracking right after like 10 feet. Just too much overlap on the laminate to cut off. It just, we couldn't trust it anymore is what it came down to. And sometimes it would leave like almost like these lines because it was tracking off for so long. It almost like bubbling and line, like streaks. It's like, oh, okay, and we had a tech out there trying to align it, and he couldn't get the tension. You know, you had to put the paper in the middle and then on the two ends and try to figure out the tension. And he brought this crazy, like, contraption where, it would hinge on the edge of the table on the flat where you would put the roll on for the film to go into the rollers. It would be like a little lock that goes around the table, and then it would be a pressure meter, and it would pull the tab underneath the laminate. As the laminate's, rolling, it would give you the tension, and it's supposed to go like 8 pounds or 6 pounds. And dude, it was all over the place. Like, it was like 20 pounds on one end, 6 pounds on another end, 3 pounds on another end. It was like warped to shit. It was just too much time. We put it through its paces.
Yeah, that bar gets a warp to it. That's
done.
There's no coming back.
No.
Yeah.
And the rollers are, $1.5 grand a piece, and we had to do both. And honestly, to be honest with you, to spend $3 grand, you might as well spend another $3-4 grand and get a new one. That's how we looked at it.
Our older one, some of the rollers just had knife cuts in them like crazy. Now, of course, nobody here ever did it.
No,
they just magically appeared throughout the night.
How do you even get a knife in there? You're not supposed to put the blade there. There's grooves. There's a
cutter on the back. You just slide it back and forth. It'll cut it right off.
And there's grooves where you can put a knife and cut a straight line in.
Mm-hmm. It actually worked. And like I said, this might come from, needing to save a couple bucks here or there at the beginning. But one thing I actually did, man, that some of those wheels were all cut up, was I took, clear silicone and squirted that shit all over the wheels.
Really?
Started them rolling, took a squeegee and held it against there and just kind of smoothed it out, like spackling the wall, if you will, and kind of filled in all those little cracks and crevices from the cuts in that thing. And it fucking worked. I don't know how, but it smoothed out. It just filled in the gaps, and it's still soft, so it gives. And it, I got a couple more years out of it. Might have to do it a couple of times throughout the year, but we kept it running for a little bit while.
There's a fucking trick. Take that one to the bank.
Copyright, trademark,
royalty
fees. It's
fees.
a special silicone you can only buy from me.
Yeah.
If there's tape over the GE label on it, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Just put your own label on it. We can make labels, can't we, on that flatbed? Make some money.
Oh yeah. If I can figure out how to get a spindle printer in there to print on round surfaces, that'll be the next thing.
Holy shit. Unbelievable. Crazy. Alright, we're creeping on 2.5 now.
Holy cow.
Can you believe it?
No, that happened much faster than I anticipated.
Right? It always does. It always does. I want to be respectful of your time. You got some production, you got family too, and they're waiting for you to get home, and I don't want to hold you up in any way, shape, or form. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day after work hours to sit and chat about the industry for a little while.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, dude. This has been great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I honestly have a blast talking to different people from everywhere, and it's been amazing.
Totally, dude. I appreciate you reaching out to me and letting me do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, anytime, man. Is there anything that you want to bring up that maybe we didn't touch on that maybe be, beneficial to talk about or anything?
The only really thing that comes into mind when we're talking about a lot of the corporate stuff or some of the bigger corporate accounts, and they want you to jump through all these hoops, make sure you're wearing green socks when you come out here at midnight to do the install, and then they hand me garbage material,
right?
And a lot of times I feel some people are just gonna take whatever some of these bigger companies are dishing out because they're just going to move on to the next guy if they don't take it from them, so to speak.
Right.
And I kind of wish some of the installers or the later end of that job, I've had to put my foot down quite a bit with some of these folks. When, you're just a guy putting stickers on, but like really it's your reputation that's based on my performance.
Right.
And you're giving me garbage material. Actually, the vehicle I just did today, another group, they sent the graphics in, ready to install on this vehicle, jump through all these hoops. It's got to be done in this amount of time, exactly, blah, blah, blah. They give it to me. 3 pieces of the wrap are too short.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And they're almost putting that responsibility on my end to make it right. And, you're an inch short. I might be able to stretch something. I can work with it.
Yeah.
When your hood is 6 inches from reaching the edge, I can do nothing about that.
Yeah.
And,
cutting scraps.
Hey, that's what it was. Hey, here's a line. We could cut along this wavy line and lay it on and kind of hide the seam.
Yeah. Gotta get cute with it sometimes, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. They want to hold our feet to the fire for, there's a wrinkle behind the bumper underneath here. And I'm like, well, you're giving me, non-conformable material that's too short.
Right.
What do you expect us to do?
Right.
And like I say, sometimes we gotta stand up to the big boys because they're not the installer. They're the print, or if they've even seen the graphics or know what they're on.
Right.
They're expecting a miracle sometimes, and it's not going to happen, and pay you pennies on the dollar.
That and you're waiting for your money. It's not.
Oh yeah, 30 days, 90
net 30,
days.
Yeah, net 60, net 90. You know what I mean? It's just you've got so many things going wrong already. Where it's like, okay, I'm not making a lot of money. 1, 2, I got to wait for my money. Not good. And then 3, it's like, okay, you're giving me fucking stupid material.
I have to work 10 times as hard now to get a so-so result.
Right. And not even including any type of scenarios you're going to have to get yourself out of in the middle of the job already that you've taken.
Yeah.
Already. It's just, I get it. And it all goes back to either having your process or your literature or your contract for these types of scenarios written out to a T where they have to sign off on it and you are completely covered in every which way and form. That way, when you're in the middle of the job and it's 1:00 in the morning, and you know what, you're working like a real asshole, you're able to send a fucking email right then and there and walk off the job and not be hurt from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a job. We had these Target stores. And, all the framework around the doors and the windows, the entrance of the building. This was massive. This was a 1-month install.
Jesus.
Massive, giant super Target. Double entrances. They were 150 something feet. I mean, you can imagine the metal framework around there, and Target's all red. All that stuff is red. We, wrapped it all in silver. Every bit of that, all the metal work in that store is wrapped in silver for this update of the store. Well, part of that was they were remodeling, and the contractor's job was to, if there's any silicone and these gaps between things, they strip that out. They sand any touch up, prep it for us, basically.
Right.
That was their responsibility. We get there, 0 of that is done.
Obviously.
0.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, we contact them. Do you want me to sit here and twiddle my thumbs till these guys start doing their job? Or you want me to start sanding these touch-ups down and we start stripping silicone? What do you want me to do? I'm here. I'm doing something.
Right.
I can't walk away from this. And it was literally, dozen phone calls back and forth within a couple hours, emailing back and forth with a couple hours, just to get that prep work that was supposed to be done before we even showed up done. And I could have slapped it up there and looked like a real dick and and had it peeling off and then
Right.
calling me or causing these issues, or just, like I said, walked away and been like, let me know when you're ready for me and I'll be back. All that would have ensured is they never would have called me again. They never would have dealt with me again. But like I said, from day one, we went, none of this is done. You will get this done and then we'll continue on.
Right.
And it really was having to twist their arm to make them fulfill their obligation to not make us look like the asshole. And when all said and done. And it was mind-numbing how simple a thing it was to go through, a board meeting about how should we have the guys take the silicone off. I'm like, get them out there and yank it off. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Just get it done.
Cut it with a blade and get the hell out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not rocket surgery.
It's just fun. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like it. I'll tell you. It's almost finding, and I know we say this a lot, it's almost finding the willpower to say no sometimes.
That is sometimes I feel like the hardest thing. If I tell that customer no, I almost feel like I'm telling them I don't want your business.
Right.
But I would say, on some of my design aspect of things with these wraps, where, the customer wants, I got 12 locations. I want all their addresses and everybody that works for me's email on the side of this van. And I got to go, I'm not putting any of that on there.
Right.
I'm doing you a disservice if I lay this out the way you're asking me to.
Right.
So hopefully you will realize I'm trying to benefit you in the long run, whether it's what material we're putting on, the design, the material, whatever. I'm here to help your business grow. And if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, maybe you should take it down the road.
Right.
Because I don't necessarily always want to put I've had to do it. The customer, this is what I want. This is how it is. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Let's do it. I'm never going to take a picture of that wrap.
Right.
I'm never going to mention I had anything to do with that wrap.
Yeah.
But
just did it to make $1.
Yeah, you're happy. Everybody's happy for right now. I could have done so much more for you, but sometimes you got to realize it might be your company, but you don't know best on this side of things.
Sometimes it's just better to fulfill the client's expectations.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. You know what? They're so adamant in what they want. Sometimes you just have to give them what they want and just let them see it for themselves. If it does good, then great. Home run. You're fucking happy. But when it does bad, I don't want to fucking hear about it. I didn't fuck that up. You fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Don't come to me. I've got no new calls since we wrapped these vans.
Right.
Well, that's because you can't make out your phone number and the 9,000 other things that are on the side of this.
They don't know what to focus on. You got too much shit. You got the laundry list going.
It's almost like I think when was it Dan from Kick Charge was on, the way he kind of broke it down, I'm like, all right, before we get into talk, listen to this, and now let's talk about your design for your van.
Right. He makes you look at a bad wrap. He makes you look at a bad design. And then he takes it away, and then he asks you, what was the name of the company? And you don't even, you just looked at it. How do you not know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. What's their phone number?
Right.
What if he had something, have somebody look it up and goes, why didn't you just call them?
Right.
Why didn't you just go to their website? Because you don't know any of that information, even though it's on their whole fleet, but you know the name of them. So mission accomplished if you got that.
That's it. Simple is better. Clean designs, nice color, not putting all that fucking imagery bullshit and realistic photos in there. It's getting away from all that shit. Keep it all vector, nice colors, nice design, clean lines, not adding fucking a million drop shadows and bevels where you can't even read the shit from 5 feet away because it's got so many effects in it.
Yeah, and if I have one more person around here ask me to put a palm tree in the sunset, on it, I'm like,
come on, you should have a jar up front for that type of nonsense.
We live here, basically on the beach, everybody has that. I cannot escape that palm tree sunset, silhouette or even photo that is on everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, unless you read it, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Right.
It could be a plumber.
anything. Yeah.
You could be a drywall guy. I don't know.
It's the universal icon of Florida. You know what I mean? You're good.
And I don't know. Most people think of Florida, they think Miami.
Right.
I am in the part of Florida, the most northwestern part. I am touching Alabama.
Yeah. You're right on the
so
tip.
far from Miami. It is not that at all. I have pine trees everywhere.
Jesus.
It's not the Florida that, I think most people picture. There's a lot more Florida than South Florida.
Yeah. I can tell even by your accent, it's a lot different than a normal Florida person would talk. It's almost like you got a little bit of an Alabama type of accent.
I think I hit a sweet medium with my parents. My dad being from born and raised in the Rhode Island area.
Rhode Island, our neck of the woods. Yeah. Wow, way up north.
My mother's family is from Kentucky.
Oh, Jesus.
So one side of the family has, kind of sounds like you, and the other half sounds like the Beverly Hillbillies to a degree. And I'm kind of right in the middle there. Certain words come out different ways.
Yeah, it depends on your feeling, your emotion. Oh,
but I am a Pepsi drinker living in the South, so that's weird for me.
Oh, Jesus, I'm Coke all day.
Really? See, we're the opposite there.
Oh, Coke and Pepsi. Hey. 3M or Avery. Huh? You're 3M, I'm Avery. So
that's the thing I'm torn on. I need to do a wrap on my personal card. I was going to do some kind of color change. Well, I'm going to get pretty elaborate with it. Some kind of that embossing look, some color change, some other stuff. And I'm like, well, I really like the Avery, what is it called? Something spring for the front. But then I really like the 3M deep space for the back. How is that going to play when I can't? I'm like, well, I just deleted half of my hashtags.
Yeah,
I can put on here.
Yeah,
because I don't know how stoked they're going to be together. Maybe they do need to join forces. Who knows?
Yeah,
but I'm like, they got to get. You just don't have that color.
No,
that's all it is. It's nothing against this company or that company, but when I need that color, that's the guy that makes it, and that's what I got to go with.
That's it. You got to be biased to all groups here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just some have a bigger color palette than others. Some have better quality colors than others, even though they both have the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. Color. One might have a better profile, sort of say, for it that works a lot better and it's a little bit richer in the color gamut, and it is what it is. It's just and at the end of the day, you got to be versatile in your craft, and if that means working with more aggressive film, you have to know that you can't rip the skirt off of it and put it on. You know what I mean? You got to leave a little bit of the backer on it. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna get fucked.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the name of the game. It's not Avery, it's not 3M where you can rip the fucking thing apart, slap it on, do your little fucking wave, get it nice and taut like glass, and then you're off to the races. It's just, you gotta know, how to work with all of it. And that's just part of training, knowing your food groups. You gotta know, KPMF. It's you got temperature, 100% temperature. You gotta really post heat the shit out of it as soon as you're done. You gotta, Hexus, you gotta heat the shit out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to know all that stuff.
Have you ever worked with that, cheetah wrap yet? You putting that stuff on? I have not
messed with it yet. I'm debating on wrapping my car. I've got an 05 Subaru, Legacy, and it's silver, and the paint's just not there anymore.
So you're already screwed on the Subaru front bumper.
Yeah. Well, it ain't that bad. It's not like aggressive. It's just a regular bumper. It's not
That's too much. They get some weird ins and outs on those things on Subaru.
They do. Mine's an older model. It's kind of just a standard kind of cookie cutter bumper. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
But the paint is just gone. It needs a good clay bar and then a freshen up. You know what I mean? In the gray. And I've been debating on doing like a matte gray on it and getting the cheetah wrap and testing it.
Yeah, for that price point, it's ridiculous.
You can't fucking beat that with a stick, dude. $3.95 or whatever it is for a fucking roll of film. Jesus Christ. And you know, it's got a super low tack, which I'm already kind of used to using Avery. You
that's
know what I mean?
What's the kind of hesitant thing on my end. I'm like, I noticed a lot of the, get it on there, then the heating. It's almost the heating is the tack.
Yes.
For it.
You gotta wake it up. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you put a little heat on it, wake up the adhesive, and then go at it, and then give it a good post heat. I mean, it is what it is. Is it a little bit more steps? Yeah, maybe. But you know what? You're saving fucking almost half the price. You'd be paying for a full, 25 yards of a normal color. You're spending, you know, $600-700. You know, you're getting it for $3.95 at your door. It's just, I don't know. I think it's marketed. I want to say it's not in our wheelhouse. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody, that's doing color changes continuously will use that as an alternative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause they have very limited colors right now.
It's always out of stock. They're always out of stock. Like all the normal standard colors that everybody would want to get, like a gloss black or a matte black. When I've been on it, it's like, out of stock. It's like, holy shit. Like,
there's probably fucking wrapping hoods and roofs with that black all day long.
Oh, all day long. You're making hand over fist. I could keep a roll of that in my shop and be buying a roll every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could deal with that. We got Pensacola NAS Naval Air Station is literally right. This is the hometown of the Blue Angels.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And is there practice day Wednesday or Thursday? I think it's Wednesday. My building is right in line with the runway, which they take and land off on. So once a week, I got this air show happening over our shop. And, that's kind of beside the point there. But like I said, there's all these guys that, these new recruits coming in, and, they get this enlisting bonus. They go buy a car. And luckily, I'm the guy 2 miles outside of their gate.
Wow.
And I'm like, you can't just have a silver one. You're going to look like every other asshole on the road.
Right.
Come on. And so it's, can you just do my detail work? Can you, do the spoiler and the roof? Can you do a chrome delete? And that's where I'm looking at a little bit of that, short or the cheetah wrap, because it's just in and out, quick stuff.
Right.
And I'm just, like I said, I'm going to have to put some of my hands and kick it around the parking lot and, see what it does.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it's in any of our wheelhouses as far as everyday use and continuously, using it for, a large profit like we would be on a full color change using 3M or Avery where, cost may be a little bit higher, but the durability and all that, like you're already used to it. It's not saying that what Frank's putting out is subpar, but I think it might be marketed more for the DIY, side of the industry where Vivid is in similar wheelhouses. But then again, with Vivid, we've heard nightmare stories of, 3 months on the road and the thing's changing color and it's, gone from blue to purple for some reason. And just, I get it. And there's a seat for every ass, sort of say, you know what I mean? And I feel like the DIY market, that might be perfect. That's the wheelhouse for that. I think anybody can buy it. You don't have to have, And it all goes back to kind of, regulations for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
How do we make things better? It's, keeping the DIYers and tinker in your garage. But when you start making a profit and charging less for a trade that other people are surviving off of and ruining the industry, you're going to have a fucking problem with a lot of people around your neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's just, you can't do that.
I think it was, might have been a Rat Police post in their, I don't know if it's on their feed or in their story the other day, like one of these, what is it, Facebook marketplaces or something like that,
Yeah.
at a post of somebody doing color changes for $700, I think it said.
Yeah. What type of
like, you
material?
can't even,
What type of material they're using? It's got to be a cheaper material.
yeah, that's what I'm like, even if it was the cheetah rat, what are you making
Nothing.
when all's said and done at the end of the day? $50? What are you putting in your pocket? Nothing.
It's either a con to get people to call and then they're upselling or something to that nature, and it's false advertising, which is concerning because then you got people calling legit wrap shops and they're like, yeah, $3,500. I won't even look at it unless it's $3,500.
I think I'm crazy.
Yeah, they think you're smoking pot all day long. It's like, no, bro. Like, I honestly can't even buy the film if I'm not doing it for a profit. I'm sorry. $3,500 is like, I'm not doing any color change lower than $3,500. Like, that's just fucking, and I'm not even going above and beyond and ripping bumpers off and all that. No, you're getting the fucking surface wrap. I'm not
visible surface.
That's it, dude. That's it. And if you've got a dramatic color change from white to black, black to white, whatever, okay, I might give you a little inlay inside the door jams just so you don't have to see it, but that's it. But you're paying a little bit extra for that. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. I get people around here that, and I don't, this is something I don't ever hear people bring up. You have whatever the film may be, say it's a 3 to 5 year film.
Right.
A printed film, wrap film, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like say with 3M, you really go back and look at their technical data sheets. It says 3 to 5 years.
Right.
But then they've broken the country up into 3 zones.
Right.
Where you're up there in zone 1.
Yep.
I'm down here in zone 3. And they'll take a horizontal surface, say a hood or a roof. And now all of a sudden that 3 to 5 years changed to 6 months.
Right.
And I got a guy, telling somebody, oh, this is 3 to 5 years, da, 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 da. And I'm up front. I'm going to go, well, when you start to see an issue, I don't know if you park this car in the garage. I don't know if it's out in the sun 24/7. But here's going to be your issue spots when you start noticing your hood, the top of your trunk, your roof. And that's just, it's where you're at. I can't change your environment.
Right.
I'm not charging you any less. It's just expensive this material. It's just as much work. But because you live here, might have to replace that hood down the road before you have to touch anything else.
Right.
And, nobody throws that out there to people. And I think sometimes it scares people away, but, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You're not going to come back in 6 months and see maybe a little discoloration, or if something is starting to happen and be, tearing me a new asshole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you said this is 3 to 5 years, 5 to 7 years, whatever it is. And I'm like, that's true, but you don't live in Boston.
Right.
You live on the beach.
Right.
These are they're going through 2 totally different scenarios. And you had that on the other end, I'm sure, with the cold,
salt.
freezing temperatures.
Yeah, the salt.
Yeah, the road conditions, that stuff.
The winters can be harsh, and we try to tell everybody, wintertime with the salt on the roads and snow, you can't have that shit just sitting and eating away at the laminate. You might get a couple of years. Oh yeah.
The salt's gonna eat through the metal of your car. What do you think your vinyl's gonna be able to take?
Yeah, dude, it's just, you'd be lucky if they even take care of the fucking wrap. You know what I mean? Half the time that's the issue. It's like, dude, do you ever wash this thing? Like, you're coming back with an issue. it's fucking filthy, dude. Like, I can write my name on it. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna give me shit, but you don't even take care of it. Like, stop. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I
Like,
think somebody else on the podcast had mentioned once, like, hey, this is good for 3 years. You take care of it.
right.
If you're not taking care of it, I'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah, it was Chris. It was the Porsche, the Porsche scenario
Was it?
where, yeah, it was
Okay.
the hips of the Porsche just are so wide and they're just, you know, facing down on the sun and the California sun beating the shit out of it. It just discolored the fuck out of it. It's like, but if you give him the spray to clean it, and he even proved it, that it will last a lot longer and it won't discolor.
Yeah.
With the spray.
It's an investment for you. Why not you wash your clothes, right?
Well,
take care of your car.
You bark on the price, but then you don't want to take care of it. Like, come on, dude. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
you know?
even if, think about it, you just invested, say a full-on color change, door recess, everything, door jams, the whole 9 yards. Like, you just spent this much, $5,000, if you will, on doing this extreme deep color change. And you almost intentionally ruined it.
Right. Exactly.
For something so simple.
Right.
So simple.
Fucking bringing it through a car wash. That's all you gotta do. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple. I purposely didn't wash my truck when I had it wrapped just to see how long I could get out of it. I got 3 years. The laminate was really showing it wear and tear, but I got 3 years
staining.
out of it. Oh yeah. Just like blister, like weird spots all over it. The hood was probably the worst, but the sides were starting to get like, you get the gloss on it and it almost turned matte. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's just
it's gone at that point.
It's fucking, it's eating it alive right now. And, I purposely did that just to see what I could get out of it. I got 3 years out of it. I was surprised.
That's good. That's really good.
With no wax on it, no nothing. I maybe occasionally washed it when it was like really bad or I was really taking it somewhere where I, wanted to make a good kind of,
a good impression.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to show up with a shitty wrap and be like, oh, well, this is 3 years. It's my own test. It's whatever. And it is what it is. You can't change your environment, but what you can do is take care of it. So fucking please,
just put in the minimal effort and you will get the maximum results.
Right.
Sometimes.
Exactly. 100% correct on that.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
I gotta go get in my dirty ass car and go home.
Right. No shit. We're all hypocrites here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there's not even, actually right now, my personal car and our work vehicle have no graphics on them whatsoever.
Zero.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah. I was in the midst of figuring out how I could rip off not rip off, but the
bad
guys
choice
there,
of words.
Yeah, I didn't, what is it, guys out there at Rap Legends.
Oh, yeah.
How
Will.
he had their shop truck just said like installation response vehicle.
Yes.
And I'm like, I love that idea. Just small, simple, it gets people's brain thinking, what is, it's a conversation starter at the gas station
100%.
or something, if you will.
Yep.
But I'm like, he's narrowed that down to the simplest way to put it. And there's no other way to reword that without just ripping the guy off.
Yeah.
Like, you bastard, you nailed it. Nobody can do anything.
You could always reach out to him and be like, hey, listen, can I bite that? Over here in Florida.
Like, you're never driving to this coast.
Yeah.
You're never gonna,
You'd be surprised.
But no, I couldn't do it. Cause as soon as I posted that up somewhere, everybody's gonna hound me all day.
Dude, you're gonna get fucking people coming out of the woodworks, fucking tagging them.
I just have to play dumb.
Yeah, I don't know
you.
What?
Instagram, what's that? I don't know what you're talking about.
Technology? I'm not on that. You ever been on the Yellow Books? That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh shit. At the end of the day, it's what do they call that? I'm going back to my quotes. It's the cobbler's way. You always have time for everyone else's shoes, but then yours are the ones that are never getting fixed. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
See?
That in my wife's salon.
Your wife's
salon.
salon.
So much stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get right on that. And I'm like, that's been 2 months.
Yeah.
And I still haven't.
You're hoping that she forgets.
Oh yeah, the wife forgets. Are you hearing?
Yeah, I should know better.
Those words don't go together in one sentence.
No, it's yes, and I'm wrong. Yep, and I'm wrong. Yep, I know.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, dear.
Yes, honey.
Dear.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm wrong, dear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus. That's the way it's got to go, though. Happy wife, happy life.
I will 1,000,000% agree with that.
At least I know that quote, right? I can't fuck that one up. That's 100%. Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, we could talk about that subject maybe off air.
Oh yeah, that was you say there's not a 9 to 5 when I am here at midnight doing something. My phone's still going off.
Yep.
And I know exactly who it is.
Yep. When are you coming home? Can you pick me up something? Can you do this?
Oh, I'm sorry. The radio is up too loud. I didn't hear you calling. Meanwhile, I'm cringing over here, wrapping around this bumper going, oh, I hear it ringing. I hear it ringing.
You don't even know what's worse, the bumper or the phone call.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I told you to be home in an hour. What time is it? Oh, that was 2 hours ago? Oh, shit.
There's one thing that us rappers can't get right. It's the time. You're in the middle of something. Honey, what time do you think you're going to get home? If you can overshoot it and maybe be at that time, you're always going to be late. Always going to be, this bumper's going to take me 45 minutes. Fucking hour and a half later, you're fucking like cringing. You're getting the fucking text messages. You're like, she's gonna be so. It's almost like when your parents said, "Hey, be home at 8," and then it's fucking 8:30. You're like, all right, I'm getting a beating either way. I'm coming home at midnight. The beating at 8:30 is gonna be the same at midnight. It's fucking. Maybe they'll be a little less tired and not give me a beating. You know.
I usually got to talk pretty quiet on the phone when I say that because that's I'm like, oh, my laminator heard me go. Oh, you thought you were leaving in 30 minutes? I'm gonna stop to that shit.
Oh,
real
man.
quick.
Oh my god.
Now you're gonna reprint that fucker.
Oh yeah, let's not talk
Just
about.
for saying it.
Yeah. Earmuffs about the laminator talk. Whew.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you, laminator. It's a different laminator.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's my friend's laminator. I'm asking for a friend. Oh shit. Unreal. Well, dude, it's been 3 hours. I want to get you home. Dinner time. I know I haven't eaten dinner yet. So
there's no dinner at my house because I haven't been there to cook it.
Oh, there you go. Damn.
My wife will not take offense. I don't think she can screw up boiling water once in a while. But I'll never hold that against her.
Never. She's the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's the best. That's so funny.
Or I'm going to come home and every dish, pot, and pan is going to be used to make some mac and cheese.
Some mac and cheese.
Yeah, every dish will be used.
Hey, I buy the one that you just pour the water in it and fucking put it in the microwave. Just nuke it. Be done.
I can't do that. I gotta
go old school?
That's one place where I probably waste more money is food. I'm like, I'm not buying that cheap ass lunch meat. I'm buying the good lunch meat. Yeah. I gotta eat it. It ain't worth it in the long run. I'm spending that extra buck.
Yeah.
Getting the boar's head.
The boar's, oh my god. Oh, my stomach's growling just for you saying that. Jesus, boar's head. Oh, some smoked ham. Oh.
It's all about the Sausalito turkey with me.
Sausalito turkey. That sounds spicy.
Yeah, it is. It's like a spicy rub or something they have. Not too much, but it's just enough.
Just a little tickle on the tongue, right?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Jesus. All right, let's wrap this up so we can get home to eating something, right?
Yeah, 100%, totally. See what's waiting for me.
Yeah, right?
She's like, you said I can't cook. There's peanut butter and jelly in the pantry. Have at it.
You know how to use a knife. Just dip it in and spread it. Done. Oh, shit. Unreal. Well, dude, it has been absolute pleasure again having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out of the day to sit and chat. This has been hilarious. I've had a great time talking to you, sharing
Me
stories.
too, man. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Anytime. Well, let everybody know where they can find you, social media, website, all that good stuff. If they want to reach out or have any questions, where they can get some more info.
Yeah, like I said, I'm open. Anybody ever has any questions, needs a helping hand, some advice, I am more than happy to help anybody out. Like I said, our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff is Kool Graphics FL, Kool Graphics Florida, for all of that. And the website, koolgraphics.com. Actually, I should say Kool-graphics.com because I did not lock down that name fast enough to get it without the hyphen.
See? And to let everybody know, Kool spelled with a K. No, with a C.
With a K, yes. I always got to throw that. I always forget that one.
Different.
Mm-hmm.
And what's
had to mix it up a little.
Now, what's the significance? Is it the cool kind of, like, it's cool, but with a K? Like it's Kool Graphics?
Yeah. And I say it's one of those, I actually changed it in my phone. Cause, you said talk and you go, oh yeah, cool, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I kept spelling it with the C so much, I changed it in my phone. So anytime I type it, it automatically corrects it to a K.
Oh, goes back to the phone fucking knowing you.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, why do you keep saying that, but you spell it this way? I'm like, just let me fix it so it'll never come up that way again.
That's so funny. But you know what? You kept your name open for all aspects of the industry with the Kool Graphics instead of like Kool Raps and kind of almost pigeonholing yourself in just that part of the industry. Which is good in a sense because a lot of us either still do the signs or the custom graphic stuff and they don't want to deal with a lot of the raps and, I always say your name is everything. Your brand, whatever name you choose to go with, like that's got to be a representation of your services. And, Kool Graphics, when I've been following you for a while and I'm always like, why Kool? Like, is it exactly what it is? It's just a cool industry.
How many times does that come up? Go, oh, that raps. That's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah,
that's cool.
All the time.
Cool. When you don't realize how much you say it, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's smart.
In reference to so many things that word gets thrown out there a lot.
It does. And it's smart to have it in your name, dude. Props.
Awesome.
To you for that.
Well, thank you.
Awesome, dude. Well, Chris, thank you so much for, again, taking the time out, and I wish you well for the rest of 2019, brother.
Same to you. Thanks for having me on the show, Jeff. I super appreciate it.
What's up, folks? Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thank you to everyone that tuned in, and thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to IBOW Training, offering a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design print profile training through remote login. Learn more about IBOW at ibowtraining.com. Thank you also to We Print Wraps, the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps, offering free nationwide shipping across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And don't forget, exclusive listeners of this podcast save 5% on your next order when you use promo code all wrapped up at checkout. See why industry pros love them and visit WePrintWraps.com. Till next time, folks, that's a wrap.